of eat, sleep, break things, repeat. He is the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of... Wait, that's not supposed to happen. He is the big Kazam. He is PJDiCesare. And yes, I pronounced that wrong on purpose. I was going to say PJDiCesare, but anyway,
yeah.
Take it over to you, PJ.
All right, thanks, Bob. Hey, everybody. I'm PJ. I'm going to be assisted with commentary by these fellas.
Jay.
Coaxel.
Dwarf. Yeah, Robotrek's a pretty sweet game, so I hope you enjoyed this run. Are we all set to go? Okay.
No sandcastle kick, sorry.
All right. Who is our hero?
The
Yes.
hero name is Kingbo.
Oh, classic.
With $235. Bort in second place.
I don't know, do you need Bob to spell Kingbo for you? Or?
And Board in third place with 100.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do all caps Kingbo. I think that's the tradition. Okay.
Wipe back in.
Wipe back in. Okay.
Don't forget.
We good to go? 3, 2, 1, go. A starts it, not the start button. I don't know if I've ever actually started the game from the end button. Like if you press start when you're entering the name, then it starts.
Yeah.
I swear I've played this. All right. So this is Robotrek. This is made by the same developers as the Soul Blazer trilogy and ActRaiser 1, ActRaiser 2. They took a very different approach to this game. They didn't do the whole Resurrection of the Worlds theme that they've done with all the other ones. Instead, this is just a super goofy RPG. The Japanese title of this is Slapstick.
Yeah, it's also Quintet's only RPG that's kind of more of a straight turn-based RPG with kind of active time elements instead of being more of an action RPG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say the defining characteristic of this game is that this crafting system, really. So you're an inventor, your dad's an inventor, your whole family's an inventor. Your whole family's an inventor? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you get these scraps and other things that you can collect, and you combine them together to get new equipment. So you can't just like go to an item store and buy a sword or something. You have to create a sword.
Yeah, and for kind of lack of a better way to explain it too, the battle system in this game is a bit like Pokemon as far as how your inventor doesn't directly fight your opponents. You build robots, actually, out of, well, hard work, scraps, and love, basically, to fight your battles for you.
Yeah. We just stole 500 gold from that dude's house. Fine, he wasn't using it.
But he was looking for it.
He was looking for it. Yeah. He didn't have the magnifying glass, so you couldn't see it. Yeah, so a lot of this speedrun is going to be collecting these scraps at certain points and saving them until I have other scraps to combine them with to get extremely powerful equipment.
Well, first we got to learn how to make robots.
Yeah, robots will help you like friends do sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, the translation for this game is very, very amazing.
There are also 2,000 gold pieces in a book.
It's a good book.
They just pour it out of the book when you open the pages.
All right, so now we know we understand robots.
Yeah.
We know everything there is to know about them.
We could read more of the book, but it just lies to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. Yeah, so I'm just like, when it comes to speedrunning, I'm just naturally superstitious. And the book also gives you these misleading hints like, hey, Robot 2 is really good at melee attacks. But none of it's true. So we didn't actually know that until a few years ago. And I had all these superstitions where I thought like File 2 gave you a higher crit chance and Robot 2 was stronger, but it was just like every time I tested it, it happened to go that way.
Little gnome plugging in the power there,
Yeah.
so you can use your giant Super Nintendo controller to build a robot.
Yeah, so this is the invention machine. We're going to be seeing this a lot throughout the course of the game. This is where we can make things, combine things, sell items, make a robot, adjust stats, all that good stuff. I'll
Yeah.
get into that a little bit more later. Now we need robot number 1.
Robot number 1 will be named Boo Boo.
Oh, okay. All right, Boo Boo.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit.
And it's going to be yellow.
Gonna be yellow, nice. All right, Boo Boo.
Just a quick reminder for those of you who are still interested in voting for colors and names. We will be picking the second place for the second robot later. So we'll give you more information on where we
That's
cut that
about,
off.
what,
right.
half an hour or so? from
Yeah,
now, or-
25 minutes, half an hour, something
Okay.
like that. We'll,
Don't wait
we'll give
to slide.
reminders.
Get your bids in.
Okay, so the first thing I did after I made Boo Boo was adjust his stats. I'm gonna program some attacks in. They're all named A.
It's a very interesting, unique system. You can create custom abilities, but you gotta sort of
Yeah, these
trial and error them.
These are called programs he's
That can be
making
B.
right now, and these are basically macros as far as special moves the robot can do, and like specific combinations gives you like power attacks that you can't otherwise do at all.
Right, yeah, so there are 4 pieces of equipment your robot can use. Right hand, left hand, backpack, and boots. So what I was doing there was combining R, X, and L in certain sequences to get special attacks. So R is the weapon that's in your right hand. X is the your backpack, the bomb that you have equipped, and L I didn't use, but that would be your left hand. So I programmed three different attacks. The main one that I'm going to be using is RXR, and if you have a melee weapon and a bomb equipped, you teleport in front of each enemy in battle and hit them once, and it's a ridiculously powerful attack. It lets you win like every battle instantly if you have the right stats for it.
Yeah, but if you have the wrong stats for it, then that's a problem, because this game works a little bit like kind of like Square RPGs on the Super Nintendo as far as having like an active time battle bar, only it's called a fuel gauge in this game. And using RXR actually depletes your entire fuel gauge,
Yeah.
so you're basically a sitting duck for several turns after that if you don't kill all the enemies with RXR.
Don't miss.
Yeah. Okay, so here I'm buying 15 smoke bombs. They allow me to escape from battle in case I get into a battle that's not one that I want to take. Then I can just run away for free, because escaping is not guaranteed like most RPGs, and if you fail to escape, you usually just get killed. So smoke bomb just guarantees that. And it has an additional use that we also didn't know about until a few years ago. Shoutouts to the Japanese runners, especially Liquid. He's been my main contact with that community. They showed us the power of the smoke bomb. So if you use it on the field, all of the enemies get frozen in place. And all of the encounters, except for like some of the scripted ones, are just on the overworld. So you see what you're getting into, and you can run around them, you can dodge them.
Yeah, that lasts for
Yeah,
like, what,
that,
20, 30
that guy
seconds?
that your dad just chased away is one of the hackers, too, who are the villains of this game, too. And if you actually watch the intro to this game, you get to see what all kinds of horrible, awful things they're doing to cause chaos in the world. Things like parking illegally, kicking over kids' sandcastles. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite too.
Yeah, like PJ said, the Japanese title for this game is Slapstick, so this game doesn't take itself seriously at all, and that's part of the fun and charm of it.
Grunt. All right, so here's our first introduction to battle. That timer in the upper right is a bonus timer. I'll just get that out of the way because I always forget to mention it. If you finish the battle before the timer expires, you get some bonus experience. But it doesn't scale as the game progresses, so it becomes useless very, very, very early. So that was RXR. That was the attack there. Teleported in front of the enemy, hit him once, and killed him. I'm going to be using that for quite a while. So the invention machine that I was in earlier, where we made Boo Boo, that you can only access through R&D rooms. So like there's one in my house, I can go in there and I can access the invention machine. Or after a level up, you can use the portable invention machine.
Yeah, that's really, really big in the speedrun route, too, just because he has a lot of his level ups kind of specifically routed so that he can do specific crafting sequences right as he needs them.
Yeah.
And it lets you heal as well, so.
Yep.
Yeah, the only notable thing you can't do with the portable one is create brand new robots. You have to hit the R&D room for that.
So I don't want to fight birds. Birds are scary. So hit rate in this game is based on speed, and birds have a tremendous amount of speed. So I don't actually have a 100% chance to hit them, and they have a low cooldown on all their attacks, so they would get multiple turns if I didn't kill them with RXR. How many mines were in that first battle? I didn't pay attention.
You're at 1.4 to level.
There were 2 there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're at 1.1 now?
Yeah.
0.3, 0.4, 0.4.
Yeah, just know
so
how the experience in this game is megs of data too, just because this is this dates this so well to
Mhm.
the late
Yep.
90s.
Yeah, remember when 10 megabytes was an actual number of megabytes, and not one save file.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 2 megs for the to get to level 2, and he wants to reach level 2 at a very specific point too, in order to craft a key item he needs for the story.
Yeah, hopefully I'm going to open up a capsule that will have a broken key item, and then I'll level up in the very next encounter and then fix that item and use it directly next to the enemy that I want to fight. So we're at 1.3 experience right now. All of these enemies here give me 0.1 each. I would ideally get a battle with 3 gels next. That would bring us to 1.9 and guarantee the level up, but we'll see what we get. So this is Dr. Einz. You can tell he's a good guy. It was a success. All the children are safe. Oh, no.
Don't worry about rocks exploding. It's natural.
Yeah, so right now these kids are, they're stuck in the cave, and they hired this inventor to go save them, and he just like blows up a wall and then leaves. So it's up to us to save the day. All right. So trying to get around enemies that you don't want to fight can be pretty tricky sometimes, because the enemies, they kind of behave predictably, but then sometimes they'll just do completely random movements and get in your way. This is
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are at 1.9 experience. We're guaranteed to level up in the next encounter. So away we go. That is a 200 gold drop. So this is a new route that I've been working on for several months. And for those of you who saw the last RPG Limit Break Robotrek run 3 years ago, this is going to look quite a bit different. So I don't need really any amount of money in this. All the money that I need is just picked up along the way. So I'm not even going to stop for drops. We don't need lucky drops. We're just going to walk right past them.
Single slime's a good thing we were at
Mhm.
1.9.
Yeah. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we picked up some junk from the tool shop. And this is our first introduction to scraps. And the game really helps you along because it gives you some pretty awful scraps, but they're useful early game. So we're going to use a clean on scrap 5, and that's going to give us shield 2. It's an extremely powerful item early game. It's worth like about 2 levels worth of stats, which is pretty important. And then we're just going to get a few more points in power.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can gain access to some pretty overpowered equipment fairly early.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about how the robot stats work too, since we just edited those a bit too. So you have kind of just pretty much free reign over what your robot stats are. There's kind of a cap set based on what level your inventor is, but and then based on that, you can just allocate the points into what is it? Power, speed, guard, charge, and
Energy.
And energy.
energy, which is
Yeah.
HP basically. And beyond the cap that you have based on your inventor's level, you can just do whatever you want. And PJ is going to be doing some very, very unintended allocations by the game developers. Like in a lot of cases, he's going to be making a glass cannon robot that has like 1 HP or barely any at all, and putting all of his points into power in order to be able to kill enemies quickly.
Yeah, because HP is given equal weight as far as stats go. So 1 point in HP is still 1 point in power or 1 point in guard. And since if I can force initiative, so if I guarantee that I go first in battle and I kill everybody, then I don't need HP. So These stat builds are going to be relying around making sure that I have enough speed to guarantee a 100% hit rate on any enemy that I'm going to fight, and enough power to kill them in the first turn. And then some different stat builds for bosses, because those are usually special cases. So I started with 5 speed, because that's what I needed to guarantee a hit on the mines and gels and commanders. And then 12 energy, because that's what I want for the first boss, and the rest goes into power.
Yeah, you're going to see a recurring theme here. When he just walked into the house, he moved to the side of the father to talk to him instead of directly up. This is because your movement speed is so much faster than the NPCs, and if you were to talk to the father directly, he would then walk around you, down, in front of you again, and then back down out of the room. And then this officer just totally ignores the fact that you entered the cave.
Yeah, no, he's not very good. He needs to take lessons from the officer that's outside the police station. That guy means business. We'll see him later. So I'm going to save here because these spiders will destroy me.
Yep. I just remember just wondering why they put this enemy in the first dungeon in the game when I played this
so
too.
strong.
Yeah, because they actually have a property called Run Resistance too, which makes them take reduced damage from your program macros, which includes RXR. So he would need way more power than he possibly can at this point in order to one-shot the spiders.
Yeah, and they have pretty high speed, so you can't just like dump all of your points into power. You still need speed to hit them. It's just not efficient at all to try and deal with them.
But conveniently enough, you get an item that allows you to save anywhere. So
Yes.
well, for the most part, unless things are a little too noisy.
Yes. Yes, you save by calling home. You call your mom and tell her that you want to save. But if it's too noisy, then you can't use the transceiver. Oh. All right, cross your fingers.
Come on.
Oh.
Oh, the tease.
All right, so that guy, every enemy in the game has 3 possible drops. There's a common drop, the rare drop is 1 in 16, and then the super rare is 1 in 256. Getting the super rare drop here saves like several minutes and has never happened. So that would be right. Yeah. So that would be fun. That's the one drop that I want to open. If he drops something, I want to take the risk. It's worth a few seconds just to check.
Yeah. Maybe talk about these capsules that randomly show up in battles too. They're kind of meant to be bonus prizes in most cases, because if you have your robot walk up and examine it before the timer in the upper right expires, like one of I think 4 different things will happen. One thing it could explode.
Yeah, that's
cause damage to your robot. It can give you bonus experience, equipment levels, and money. Is that the other one?
Equipment level, the bonus experience. The bonus experience isn't just outright awarded, by the way. That's bonus experience if you finish before the bonus timer expires. So in most cases, you can't get that experience. Yeah, they can explode, and the explosion has a chance of rusting your robot. So that's like the
in this game,
the double bad, the worst spot
Always,
every single
always the
time.
corner.
Yeah.
You can also get a big bomb, which is an item. It's not a particularly useful item, especially in a speedrun, because it scales with your player level. So big bomb is never going to do any kind of damage in a speedrun.
Yeah, but by and large, the capsules are just not useful in the speedrun at all. They can be a problem too, because they spawn randomly on the battle map, and if there's one that's directly in front of an enemy, if he tries to use his RXR program, then when his robot stands on the capsule, that causes the capsule to explode, and then that does damage to the enemy instead of your robot, and that's generally a bad thing, because it's a lot less damage.
Yeah, so instead of doing 200 damage to an enemy, it does 4 damage, and then Spider tried to open up the capsule. I'm taking this.
You do have the alternative one that just jumps behind for that case.
Yeah,
right?
but that's single target.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he does have that as an option, and then kind of the last resort if there's a bad capsule spawn is just to sit and wait for the bonus timer to run out too, because once that happens, all of the capsules explode.
Yeah, and on a random encounter, like if there are 3 enemies and the capsule's blocking them, I'll just use a smoke bomb and leave.
Yeah, it's much faster than waiting out to almost 30 seconds.
Yeah, waiting out the timer feels super bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have a choice, though. Like, sometimes the capsule will just be in front of a boss, and you're like, well, I don't want to give him a free turn, but I can't hit him.
Yeah, the window for this first boss is very tight, so you don't want to be giving him any extra turns.
You were torturing poor Metacrab by.
Oh, we're
trying
not torturing him. We're making a nice bath for him.
yeah.
But he wasn't ready for it. Yeah, so Metacrab's the bad guy here. So we went and we saved the kids. We saved the blue-haired kids, but Carl, the green-haired kid, didn't want to leave. So we had to go back into the cave and find him. And that's when we stumbled on this, the hacker base. So now we're just kind of going through and exploring. Along the way, we met Kotetsu. He's going to be a recurring character. He looks particularly like an IOG character. I think I'm pretty low on experience, so I'm going to fight this guy.
Yeah. Has the developer room incentive been met, by the way?
Can you say that again, Coetzel?
Has the developer room incentive been met yet?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
It was met before the run even started.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll be doing that after the run.
Yes.
Thanks everybody who donated for that.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we are we're combining Shot 1 with Scrap 2 to make Shot 2. It's only a little bit stronger. I think it's like 10 attack power stronger, but we're going to be fighting Metacrab, the first boss at level 3, which is extraordinarily low. So in order to win, we have to get as much attack power as we can possibly get. We need every last drop. All right, time to release Kotetsu. Totally trustworthy guy. So the fun thing, if you don't have the key equipped and you talk to him, he's like, "Do you have the key? What? It's tradition to hold something in your hand when you talk to somebody if you want to."
Also, for some reason, they decided that when you move through a single tile hallway, it just slows you down. No idea where the logic for that comes from.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's eventually going to get ways to override kind of types of terrain that slow down his movement, but that's still a ways off.
All right, so all we wanted to do here was reach level 3. So I don't need to fight any extra battles. I don't even want to fight this guy, even though he could give me a good drop. I don't really want to fight him. Just gonna scroll him off screen and then he's gone. Okay, so that was the last fight before Metacrab. You said the next room isn't noisy?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay.
I'm sure that's something that's actually pretty legitimately difficult to remember, since don't normally save in speedrun attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the hackers are not very subtle about where their commanders are, too, with having, like, skulls on the
Yeah.
floor in front of the
Yeah.
door.
Just big Link to the Past fans. You gotta label the boss room.
You see this boss is literally just a giant crab on top of a hacker's body.
All right, so Metacrab has 200 health. Oh, nice
Oh,
capsule.
wow.
All right, so we're gonna play the
All
waiting
right.
game.
So you could explain his elf.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and kill him in 10 hits. I'm standing in this spot because he's gonna try to walk forward in a bit, and I want to stay out of range of that. The damage that you do with ranged attacks is based on proximity. So the closer you are, the more damage you do.
Yes!
Nice, there they
yes.
are.
Shifty crabs!
I love these guys. They're so cute.
Look at those eyes go.
They know something, man. they've got dark secrets.
So he should move up after this fight, or this attack here.
This hit he should.
Yeah, he moves up after every 5 actions of his own.
So we should probably be okay. I think I'm gonna heal just to make sure.
Nice aim, Metacrab.
Yeah, pretty good. So the balls that he's shooting actually have different effects. The blue one just does a bunch of damage, just really powerful. The purple one has a chance of poison, I think. No, yeah. And then the brown one has a chance of stopping your robot. There's a hidden property with Shield 2 though, and it actually gives your robot immunity to poison or rust.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
That was good,
Didn't
yeah.
even get a physical.
Yeah, so Shield 2 is very good there because corrosion, rust, poison. I'm gonna be switching names. it's actually pretty devastating in this game because it does damage every 10 real seconds. So it ignores turns. It'll just keep damaging you. So if you have like a really slow boss, or you're using an attack that drains a lot of fuel, you're going to take a lot of poison damage, and it's really devastating when you only have 12 health. So it's convenient that Shield 2 gives us immunity. All right,
Yep.
Metacrab was destroyed. Now he's just a tiny little cute crab.
Yeah, one thing about the battles, too, that's going to be in no way obvious whatsoever if you haven't played this game, too, is that PJ is actually having to mash his controller to make his fuel gauge fill faster.
Yeah, there are some quirks with the ATB system in this. The charge stat is supposed to increase the rate at which that fills, but there are some issues with that stat.
Some wonky science.
Yeah. So we're really not going to put points into charge until we have to. Like, we're going to max out our power and max out our speed, and then just use the rest of them in charge.
Yeah.
But when you press the B button, it increases the rate at which it fills up.
And you don't really have to mash like too hard in order to get the kind of the optimal speed, right?
Yeah, it's about six hits a second is optimal.
Yeah, because like for Metacrab, that was just making it so that they went back and forth instead of Metacrab sometimes getting double turns on him.
Yeah, and yeah, make sure that Metacrab doesn't get a double turn. If he uses one of the ball attacks, and it actually hits you, like you don't block it, then... Hello?
Bird, please.
Okay.
RPG jerk, what?
Yes.
So that was actually pretty scary, because I only have 3 health.
He also doesn't have the sword
Yeah,
equipped.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I played
Oh, I
this,
don't.
when I played
Good
this for the
catch.
first time a few years ago, my first experience was going into that area and then just immediately getting killed by that bird.
Yeah.
So-
So the reason I was standing still and instead of like trying to immediately go into evasive maneuvers is because the game is kind of weird about who gets initiative in a battle. So if you run dead on into an enemy, you get to go first. But if you're offset by a tile, it gets really sketchy. So I didn't want to try and move and get like one of those weird cases where the bird might get to go first. Generally, if you're standing completely still and then an enemy touches you, you get to go first. So I was
Unless they
just-
hit you from behind.
Right, yeah. All right. So we're going to have another pretty scary encounter with the bird in a little bit.
Yeah, the
Equipping a
first like
smoke preemptively.
45 to an hour are very scary in this game.
Yeah. Meow. This is one of my favorite
yes,
parts.
this is a good cutscene.
These hackers were looking for my father, and they come out and look around, and they get spooked by their own theme music, which I think is a really nice touch.
Yeah, so you just got to remember what he says when he leaves. And if you're anything like me, first time you played this game, you have no idea what in the world that's supposed to mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember what I always tell you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because if you talk to your dad really at any point before you've defeated Metacrab, he just says something and then says to go pay respects to your ancestors. And you have to talk to him a lot to for that letter to actually make any sense to you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so any
So-
sort of miss is going to result in death. Those guys are going to hit from super far away for at least 12 to 15 damage. It's rib. So you really want to watch, make sure capsules aren't in front of the enemy.
Yeah, they will absolutely end me. So the stat distribution I'm using now, I have 3 energy just because if I get into a battle with a bird, he shouldn't be able to kill me. He should be doing minimum damage. So that's just in case we get surprise bird encounter. And then 55 power is what I need to one-shot the monks and the ghosts in the next area. And 22 speed is going to give me a 100% hit rate. Okay, so now we're making X2. X is the strongest weapon class in the game. X3 level 9 does a tremendous amount of damage. But we're not going to make X3, we're just going to use X2.
If you saw PJ's run of this 3 years ago, that's kind of what his weapon modding route was all built around, was getting X3 as soon as possible and then using that for the rest of the boss fights in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a little bit of tweaking, you can have that Axe 3 level 9 before the second boss of the game. Just one hitter when you get in
It's
there.
ridiculous. It's so mean. All right, so now we meet our ancestor. This is Rask. We'll see him later. But he's telling us that these stones that we got are pretty important, and that the next one is in John Paul Belmont Prinky mansion.
That counts to you.
That counts to you.
I do really like this next area PJ is going to too. I just think it like kind of captures like a haunted house B movie flavor really well too in the RPG format.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I personally look at it as like a love letter to Castlevania.
All right, cross your fingers for bird. Okay, nice.
Good bird.
Good luck.
PJ just used a smoke in order to freeze all the enemies.
All right, so this is another recurring theme here. Mint is a reporter, and she's just always everywhere. She's getting the hot scoops, including like somehow ending up in outer space in search of a report. She's just always around. So pretty much all of the plot triggers in the dungeons revolve around finding Mint and rescuing her.
She's not very responsible adult. She just leaves this kid in the middle of this dark forest.
And we found the house for her, and she's just like, "You're terrible."
Yeah, you're terrible. I can take it from here.
Would the cutscenes at the start of the house be a good time to do some donations?
Oh yeah, that would be fine.
Excellent. We have a $50 donation from PJDiCesare,
Oh,
who says, "What up, RPGLB? PJ here. Sorry I couldn't make it to the marathon this year. Hopefully I'll make it to Limit Break 2020.
oh, it happens.
Donation
PJ.
goes to whatever they tricked into running Robotrek's choice." $10 from Wall Crusher that says, "I challenge everyone watching to donate $1 for every miss on the bosses during Robotrek.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Let's count them.
That's
Hopefully Gatto is kind."
That's too much money.
We have another donation from LLK sending $10 that says, "PJ make robot. Robot make robot. Robot fight robot. PJ win. Robot fall down. Robot find ketchup. PJ robot. Thank PJ. Good robot, make robot. Poexel find robot. Bob hug robot. Robot in the bread. Robots in the box. Robot." I'm not quite sure what that means.
Wonderful.
Sounds delicious.
So this is a stealth mission. We've got to follow Igor here. His field of vision is incredible. So if you're like on the corner tile, he will spot you. You have to hang a little bit back and wait for him.
I saw your shoe poking around the corner.
Yeah. What's that? Get back to bed. And everybody just wants you to go back to bed.
That's the one that tricks you the most, because you're like, oh, he's going to the door, he's going to go in. And all
And
of a
it's
sudden,
funny
nope.
too because we have a sneaking mission, the next major dungeon after this, and the guards are a little less competent
Yeah,
at seeing
no,
you,
those
just a
guards.
little.
I think their heart is just not into it.
To be fair, Igor's been around for at least 3 generations.
Yeah.
Does this happen to you when you read books?
Yes, it does. That's why I try not to read them anymore.
Yeah.
This
You'll be
w-
seeing this guy again tomorrow.
John
at
Paul Belmont's
Illusion of
Prinky.
Gaia,
Count
too.
is my name. Yeah, that's great. It's almost the same exact sprite as the vampire.
I mean, like, if you have a good imagination, this is what books should be doing for you, right? You open a page and it just takes you right into the world.
Yeah. And then you chat with your ancestors and they tell you to go to a haunted mansion.
And last but not least, the clock tower, built also by your ancestor.
Yeah.
Just watch out for Medusas.
I like the skulls that are on the roof. Pretty nice decoration.
I don't think I've ever noticed those
It's a-
before.
it's a
actually.
terrible
It's a
place
nice
to die.
touch.
It is a terrible place to die. Poor Santa Claus. Well, well. All right, so we have some force encounters here. It'd be a good time to read some donations.
Absolutely. So we have $50 from Joseph, who says, "Thank you for raising money for this wonderful cause. Shout out to all the mental health workers who work hard every day." $15 from Billy, who says, "This donation is dedicated to Lisa. I love you." I have an anonymous $20 donation that says, well, PJ, we all like you a lot, and I'm sure you're important to your friends. So be careful and go for broke.
Just quick, too, that first monk battle, too, he ran away from using a smoke instead of fighting because there was a capsule in front of one of the monks. So if he'd have used RXR, it would have done like 10, 15 damage or something from the capsule exploding, and then the monk would have probably killed him.
He would have
Oh,
given, he would have given me
100%.
all the business.
100%. What's really annoying is when you run from the battle and then you get in the battle again and then the capsule's still there.
Yeah.
it's in a different spot, but it's still obstructing.
Capsule's still there, and there's one extra enemy. Like, oh, great. Thanks. So all of these drops are fixed. So I know that the bottom left capsule is going to be repair. Repairs are really important. On the first trip to the shop, when I bought all the smoke bombs, I picked up 2 repairs. I want as many as I can get. Repairs are what you use to revive your robot in case he dies.
Yeah, that you can't do that quite yet because he only has 1 robot. So
Yeah.
if his robot dies, it's just a game over, and you'd have to load his safety save. But once he actually has multiple robots, then the repairs really start to matter.
Yeah, definitely. You never know how many you need until you get that one run that goes through 20 of them. All right, I don't remember if it's too loud in here. It's too loud in here. I think this room's okay, though.
It's good to know because this next enemy will also easily kill you if
Yeah.
you miss.
Yeah, so these enemies, when I was hitting monks, I was doing like, what, 100 damage or something? I was doing a bunch of damage. Now I'm doing 20 to ho-hos. So ho-hos have run resistance, so they take greatly reduced damage. I think they have like 75% resistance to the run command. But if you have enough power and you have a really good weapon, you can overcome the resistance. You can just brute force it.
Yeah, that ho-ho also has a pretty decent rare drop. But the curious thing about drops in this game that I learned from PJ is that they're not tied to the actual enemy itself, but to the encounter. So you might have 2 different enemy sprites inside the area you're in, but each one of those guys will have a chance to drop something completely different,
Yeah.
even though they're the same enemy.
Wow, wow, wow.
Oof.
All right, so what happened here is that Flavin was also in the old mansion. Everybody's coming here to hang out. Flavin is a friend of my father. They went on a trip together. And that's the whole reason we're here is to try and figure out where he went. So, yeah, to get Flavin to help us, we're gonna get his dog. His dog's got his medicine because Flavin was hurt. And then we'll hopefully learn something. So before the next boss, we want to reach level 7 just because we want the points. We don't have to use the invention machine to craft anything in particular there. So it's not really urgent that I get the level up in any specific spot. But I'm just going to be killing encounters that I know I can win. So formations that have either ho-hos or monks. Those are the only enemies that I can actually kill right now. The other enemies will survive and then destroy me.
We found the light.
Found the light. This
Yeah,
is the most
because
useless
reminder
item.
that when he uses the RXR macro, that fully depletes his fuel gauge, so he's just a total sitting duck for multiple turns after that, and if anything survives, then he's gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. A very short but bad time.
Oh, these ho encounters.
Yeah, some serious experience. So the light is used in exactly 1 room, and that's this one. You can use it in other rooms because it does increase the light radius here, but you're not actually required to use it anywhere besides to check that passageway. Okay, scrap 3. This monk is playing some pretty good defense.
Yeah. Maybe just
Please?
wait till he moves in front of the door and
Okay.
Oh! Scary.
So all of the scraps are kind of themed. So like scrap 1 that I used to upgrade the axe is used to upgrade like bladed weapons. So it upgrades sword 1, sword 2, and axe 1 and axe 2. Scrap 2 is used to upgrade guns. So that's what I used to make shot 2 earlier. Scrap 3 is the boots scrap. And it's probably the most valuable item in the game. Boots are really good in this. So I'm picking that up there, and then I'll use it, I don't know, an hour and a half from now or something. but scrap 3s are pretty limited. They're one of the scraps that you cannot buy, so it's important to know where those are. This guy is scared of the dark, so we just spook him, make him leave.
Because there's a
and,
conveniently
find
placed light switch for another room in the house.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Now, you were saying that like you can leave the light off, and if you turn the light back on, it's just nothing, no light. But
Yeah. Yeah, so we don't have control in that cutscene until Mint completely leaves the screen, and that's like a trend in this game. The cutscenes are just excruciatingly long sometimes, especially later when you have the slowest moving NPC who has to walk the entire length of a room before you get to move.
And then there's like another cutscene where you could leave early, but then it doesn't count. And you have to watch it again too.
Yeah, the plot trigger just doesn't register, and you have to go get caught again. It's really nice. All right, so this is like the last dangerous part. So I'm gonna save once more. We could probably have the cutoff for Robot 2 in, I don't know, 2 minutes,
Got you
something like
covered.
that. Okay.
We need color then as well, right?
Yes. Yeah, so we're gonna be making Robot 2. So in that room where the Count showed up and talked to us, in the room where we got the dog, there's an invention machine right behind that. So we're going to go talk to Flavin and then go back and build our robot there. So this is the last time that we're going to be using just one robot.
Yeah, because even though he gets kind of a one-shot use of the invention machine every time he levels up, he cannot build new robots in the portable invention machine. He has to actually go to an R&D room.
So I didn't take level 7 because it doesn't really benefit me right now. I can kill everything in one hit and I have 100% hit rate, so putting the points just wastes time. I do have to adjust my stats before the boss, but the stat distribution that I use for the boss doesn't guarantee a hit on the normal enemies. So I want to adjust those stats later, once I'm beyond having to fight anything.
Yeah, I always notice too that the hackers have kind of an interesting like structure too. Like every one of them that you fight is called a commander, pretty much too. Like who are they commanding? Each other?
Each
or-
other.
Yeah.
The sandcastle.
The sandcastle, yeah. The parking attendants.
All right, so Flavin really wishes that he could talk to his dog because his dog buried the clock tower key. And that gave us the idea to build a device that allows us to talk to animals. So now we can do that in the invention machine.
Thank you, Inventor Book. Sure.
I guess I'll kill him.
Oh,
Or not.
Or
I guess I won't. Am I in the doorway? Can I even run around him?
You can go
I
around him.
think you're far enough.
Am I one tile up?
We'll find out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I reached level 7, so I really don't need experience. I have no incentive to fight these enemies anymore. But sometimes they want to fight anyways.
Yeah, it's not necessary to use the smoke. It's just so much safer.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the last dangerous screen. So from now on, I'm probably not going to save, because if I die, then backup robot will just come in and save me, and then I'll leave. But up until now, it's pretty scary. Okay, robot number 2. Do we have a name?
Okay, so due to a small tracker snafu, Scrap C was supposed to win robot number 1 name.
Oh,
So we're just going to make robot number 2 Scrap C.
okay, we can do that.
And they are going to be Purple.
Purple. All right, sounds good. I
So
like that scrap 3
our
is...
apologies for the slight snafu on our end.
And don't worry about these 2 little gnomes that came out of the machine. They live there.
Yeah, we don't know what they are. I don't know if those are robots too.
They do like to dance.
All right, scrap. C. Okay. So the purpose of second robot, since only one robot can be in battle at a time, the purpose of second robot is just going to make sure that's purple.
That's purple.
It's like pink? All right, we did it. Yeah, Robot 2 is just going to make sure that Robot 1 can get back into battle. Going to program this for later.
Scrapsy does have one boss that it's going to be fighting eventually, but yeah, by and large, is just going to be kind of a tank robot to come in and revive Boo Boo.
Need to make relay.
Or the first robot.
Boo, yeah.
whatever that
When Boo Boo
is.
gets a Boo Boo.
All right, so in addition to combining things, you can also make things. You can just outright spend money to create something in the
Did you
invention
adjust Boo
machine.
Boo stats?
Yes.
Yeah, most of those items that you make is just there's books around the world, and if you're high enough level, you can understand what they say. And we're a little under-leveled.
Yeah.
So not quite as useful, but you get a couple other items that way. So.
Yeah, like the way that we learned relay. Talking to Flavin gave us the idea. I'll tell you something special. Woof. So when you talk to animals, they talk to you in English and then bark afterwards, or squeak, or meow.
I'd like to think they're just saying the word woof
Yeah.
in English.
We're just going to be running through and avoiding encounters, so now would be a pretty okay time for some more donations, if we've got them. Is this going to fit?
You just caught me with a mouthful of water.
Haha!
Damn you. All right. We have $25 from Hotbot here on site who says, I feel obligated to donate during any robot-related runs. Good luck. Have fun. Beep boop. Beep boop. Beep boop. Thorkos donates $100. Says, I'm one of the volunteers here, and I had the pleasure, quote unquote, of watching PJ practice this hot mess yesterday. Money to his choice.
So on the topic of this game being a hot mess, this game is actually a super fun game and an extremely good casual playthrough. So if this run looks at all interesting to you, I would recommend giving it a play.
Yeah, because there's so many more crafting options and like weapons and equipment for the robots that you're never going to see in this speed run too. That just to give you so many possibilities, and the difficulty isn't really high enough to the point
Here we
where
go.
like there's just a one correct way to go to.
Please?
So this is the worst enemy in the clock tower. Always blocks you.
Yeah,
Never
he just stares
moves.
at you.
Yeah,
He's
like
like,
never
what are you
just
gonna do?
instantly moves out of the way.
I do have a $100 donation from an anonymous donator who says, that part with the talking crab was a little weird, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
sure the story makes more sense from here on out.
I'm sure it does too.
If you read the dialogue, you will be more confused.
$25 from Kaneda, who says, I wanted to wait and donate until PJ was playing Robotrek because I had a good joke about a garbage plate. Sadly, I forgot it. So much for that.
Oh man.
At any rate, the work that Nami does means a lot to my family because both my wife and I have bipolar 1. It is a tough illness to manage alone, and with resources like Nami, hopefully other people with similar conditions will find a way to get help.
Come on.
Please.
And I have a $200 donation from Kyoslilmonster.
Wow, nice.
Who says, thank you for everything that you guys do. Also, PJ, watch out for house crabs.
I'll do my best. All right, so we're just kind of going through. The clock tower has a bunch of doors that are locked. You have to hit switches to open them. It's kind of like a puzzle dungeon. But we're reaching the end now. So this is Mamurana. Harmless looking doll.
If you're familiar with Robotrek, you might recognize this as the doll from Leo's lab that gives you the stone. And you probably also, if you're
In Soul
familiar,
Blazer.
yeah. So what did I say?
Robotrek.
Of course I did.
Yes.
But you might also recognize that this font is also taken from a lot of Quintet's other games. They just love to reuse their resources.
It's a very good font. I like this font a lot.
I
You're
love
no
that
match for me. No one is. What? A mouse? I can't be mice. So if you don't save the mouse from Mint's bag and you go down here, Mamurana just continuously pushes you out of the room. But if you save the mouse, then the mouse scares her away. Okay, just check equipment quick. Make sure that we're good to go. So we're still quite underleveled. The books that you can read in here are level 9, 10, and 11. So the game expects you to be about 4 or 5 levels higher than I am right now. So I really only have enough stats to guarantee that I can hit Mamurana, but with the way that hit rate works, it means that she also has a 100% chance to hit me. But it ends up being mostly okay with the way that this battle works. So Mamarana will make clones eventually. And then the clones will alternate turns.
She's also not able to move up to the top or lower lines until her clones appear.
All right, I'm just going to hit. I'm not going to wait for a back attack. Back attacks do 50% more damage, as she will demonstrate. Oh, okay, nice. All right, now only one of these is real, and it looks like it's the middle one right now. Mamarana has... Okay, no block. Mamarana has 400 health, so it takes about 7 hits. If I get a lucky crit or if I get a back attack, it's slightly less.
You just want to hope that the clones on the up and bottom move, or anything that's not on the line you're on, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes even when the one on your row does take action, it'll just like walk forward and then teleport back. So there are a lot of free turns in this battle. Okay, that was a clone. I can't reach the one on the left, I don't think, so I'm gonna just hit this one, which is the real one now.
Hurrah! The clone moves.
Yeah.
This fight's actually looking pretty decent so far.
I can't reach, I'm gonna kill this one. Hopefully she'll make more. Block? Nope. So when you equip any piece of equipment that gives you a defense bonus, so any shield, most of the boots, and most of the backpacks that aren't a bomb or the power pack, you have a chance to block when an enemy hits you. And that's based on the global frame counter, so that's not random. Well, it's not drawing from the random number generator. So, hey, nice. Cool. That'll do it. 2 deaths is okay.
Excuse me.
We budget for 2 deaths there, so it's okay. We're still on track. Yeah, so blocking is just something that can save you if you're in that situation where they have a 100% hit rate. Because blocking is checked before anything else. So before an evasion check, it checks to see if the attack was blocked, and then it runs all those other numbers. We'll see blocking more later in the next boss when he blocks all of my attacks.
The $20 donation from the Axeman, who says, a robot and an axe. That is a very cool combination.
That's perfect opportunity, too, because we're going to be switching gears relatively soon as far as weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, axe isn't my long-term plan. My goal with this route is just to get through the early game. Just get through it. Do whatever you got to do. So, like, we used Shot 2 for the Metacrab fight, and we're not going to use it ever again. We built X2 for that fight, and we're going to use it for, like, a few battles in the next area, and then replace that and get our final weapon for the run.
$50 from Emmy Pup, who says, hey PJ, good luck and don't break anything. Too late.
All right, so here's Flavin. He's going to tell us about what happened to our father. So for some reason, our father's an inventor, and the robot book is like an heirloom in our family, but our father doesn't actually have any robots. So he gets confronted by this hacker and has no way to defend himself except for the surprise horn, which makes a fun noise, but doesn't really do anything else.
Shoutouts to Flavon for just ditching his friend.
It's like, all right, later. So he honked the horn. Flavin's like, oh, wait.
Now he feels bad. The guilt is hitting.
Oh, he's gone.
Where could he have gone? There's 2 directions. How do I choose? No?
I'm going home.
Well, I'm just not going to choose. Not going to
No.
The dog just never stops barking.
He's a good dog. Yeah, so he tells us what happens to our father, and we're like, cool. Have you heard about these stones? And he's like, yeah, there's a stone in South Isle, and now that's what we're going to go do. So I guess the Finding Our Father storyline gets kind of put to the side.
For a while, yeah.
I have to go read a book. I have to learn how to make a fist. Learn how to make punch 1.
Take fingers, close them into the palm.
I see.
But if you close your hand, you can't hold an axe.
You
That's why we don't need the axe
you
anymore.
hold the axe in your hand and then punch with the fist.
Yeah, being able to read books to learn how to craft new like equipment is probably the main other impact of your character's level, besides the points you have for robot stat distribution.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure that we are level 7 there, not only because it gives us an easier fight against Mamurana, but also because we can learn punch. I mean, granted, we would reach level 7 anyways from Mamurana's experience, but yeah, we absolutely want to learn how to make punch before we go to this area, because the enemies scale pretty hard in this game. They do expect you to fight a lot of battles and level up along the way.
And this guy just swam through the ocean from dock A to dock
Yeah.
B. He's like, I don't need the boat, I need the exercise.
He's a professional. So, of course, Mint is here. Apparently, this invitation was a trap. And everybody that came here from Rococo has been captured, or has disappeared. So, my favorite villager here is the mayor. The mayor of Rococo just leaves and goes on vacation. He needs a break too. It's tough. It's a tough job. So I'm not really sure what this scene is. We were talking about it yesterday and still don't really know.
It's very out of place.
Yeah. This is Napoleon. At some point, I don't know when this takes place, but at some point the villagers found him. My working theory is that he became the treasure that we get later, and they start to worship that guy, but who knows? It's Robotrek. It could be anything. All right, well, all the villagers are disappearing. We're going to go see the volcano. Seems like a good place to go. Seems like a good place to go.
Especially with the ground shaking like
Yeah.
that, too, as you leave.
Today's a good day to see the volcano and ground shakes.
Volcanoes are fun.
The volcano is fun, yes.
Y'all look really close.
All right, down we go.
I just love that animation when he falls and his head just pops off.
Yeah. Stuck the landing. You're not sightseeing, you're a liar. All right.
Don't be bitter.
Spider, please.
Okay. So those spiders, just like their younger brothers, are immensely powerful, and you have to respect them.
But we don't respect the moles.
No, we don't respect the moles.
I love the
they're in my way.
animation when you hit the moles, too.
Pop out of the ground.
With bug eyes, and then poof.
There's a whack-a-mole joke there somewhere. A $100 donation from Jason, who says, I always have to donate during a PJ run. Keep up the great work. As always, I'm loving these events.
All right, so here are the stellar guards that were alluded to earlier.
Because we've once again stumbled onto a secret hacker base.
Yeah, so that if you had walked in front of that guy, he would have caught you, but we can just like high-five him and he won't notice.
Yeah.
Just run down the same 2-tile hallway right next to him.
Yeah, the window's very tight. If there's any hesitation or if you accidentally bump the wall, then you will not be able to slip by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the volcano base is interesting because it entirely revolves around the bathroom. So we have to go to the bathroom for a number of different plot sequences here. We overheard this this conversation. We promised not to tell, and this guy gives us a stamp on our hand. We don't really want that. There are no sinks in that bathroom. He might catch me now. No? Okay.
Just get out of my way.
Excuse me. I wonder if you can talk to them. I don't know if I've ever tried.
They'll kick you out if you talk to them.
Do they?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Oh, a stamp. Okay. All right,
That's
these are the next level commanders.
That guy doesn't respect the stamp, though.
No.
Yeah, be careful entering this room. They just stand still till the fight starts.
Yeah. All right, Minicom. So I'm just using a smoke there. It's not necessary, but sometimes you can get really jammed and you don't have a whole lot of room to navigate on the way down there.
Yeah, that guy, that orange dude on the right, or gold, whatever you want to call it, if he spots you early and he follows you up that 2-tile hallway, then...
Yeah, then you're just stuck. You have to fight the battle. So I do still need to gain levels along the way, but I want to kind of pick my battles. Commanders give pretty low experience. I think they give like 0.5 each. And the other enemies here give 1.1 for Gators and 1.4 for Boss Toads. So if I want to fight battles, I want to make sure it's them. Might be able to scroll him off screen. All right. Okay. I'm gonna let myself get caught here because it's a little bit faster than hitting the switches.
You have to really, really try to get caught, too.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Gonna try and sneak past these guys one more time. Gotta wait now. Yeah, like Jintatsu said earlier, the window for getting past that guy is particularly tight. What, Kingbo?
You don't recognize me in this costume? How he fit all that hair inside that helmet.
It's a good helmet. All right, so this is another nice sequence. If you want to escape, go this way. It's a garbage chute. It comes out in the volcano somewhere. You're like, okay, it's good enough for me.
Hopefully not directly into lava.
Which would kind of make sense if you're actually disposing of
Yeah, and I guess their
volcano.
garbage is dead dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one. Just throw them down the garbage chute.
Yeah.
Secretly the lab that they were working on Jurassic Park.
So we want to fight Gators. We want to fight some of these boss toads. So like we mentioned before, the enemy formations can vary. So, oh wow, the double.
Wow.
This might be okay. He's just going to go around him.
I assume you were hoping the lower guy was going to move up?
Yeah, I was hoping he would attack and break them. I'm going to
yeah.
wait it out because this is good experience.
We've gone too far anyway.
Yeah, I have to commit. So yeah, even though the overworld sprite is showing Boss Toad, the enemies that are with Boss Toad depend on the formation. And the formation is fixed based on their location. So I know this guy is going to be Boss Toad and some commanders. But like I mentioned before, commanders are pretty bad experience. This formation is only Boss Toads. So I want to fight this one. I'm not sure why I chose that. Block, please. Nope.
It was a great animation, though.
Okay,
Boss
let's get
Toad
out
looks
of
very satisfied at
Yeah.
that kill.
We're going to rematch him, though.
The curious thing is, when he goes back into the fight, the number of enemies in the encounter will be different, or
Yeah.
has the chance to be different.
All right,
so
come
maybe
here,
we'll get
you.
lucky and we'll get a triple.
All right, worth it. Yeah, so it doesn't particularly matter when I reach level 11. I just want to reach 11 before the next boss. And these are just really good experience enemies, as long as I don't screw it up.
Spider?
Can't. Gotta fight him. All right, we've had pretty good luck on the encounters though, so I shouldn't need to fight many extra battles. Should be okay.
The enemies in this are
Spider,
just
please.
so good. It's just
Spider,
an
please.
alligator
Come on.
head flopping around.
Spider, please, please.
Other way.
please.
This is my door. This is my door.
Oh, I don't want this. So there's a chance of quick birds here, and we can't kill quick birds. So we have to smoke away. All right, we're just gonna be doing a little bit more running, so now would be a great time for donations.
Lovely. I have $50 from lag.com, who says H space O space L space D space O space on. $10 from Lay, who says, I heard there was a Hotbot donation, so I had to donate as well. And then I have a few donations that don't have donation comments, so I'm just going to go ahead and read those out. We have Sanai, who donated $100, an anonymous $140 donation.
Wow.
Fubajube donating $100, and I'm a Squirrel donating $100. None of those had donation comments, but thank you all for your donations.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so these next two rooms are going to look simple, but are tremendously scary, because there are invisible enemies here that will destroy you. Okay, we made it through.
No weird squirrely
Yeah.
behavior there.
Yeah, I got into 2 encounters in those 2 rooms in each of my last 2 runs. The invisible enemies, there are 6 different types of them throughout the game, and they're all just so much stronger than everything else. One of the invisible enemies is stronger than the final boss, but they are resistant to all sources of meaningful damage. Like, you can only really damage them with a melee attack. No run command, no bombs, no sword 4, nothing. And they have a ton of defense, but they give you really good experience and have really good drops. So if you're well equipped to fight them, you can do some pretty productive farming.
The other saving grace is they don't aggro to you like other enemies. They just randomly do their movement.
Yeah, they take the spider approach and just walk around wherever they want to go.
Yeah.
Hang out by doorways. All right, so we made it back from the volcano, and that means that we are the messenger. We're the chosen one. And now they're going to offer us as a sacrifice again, this time in a box.
Gift wrapped.
Mint is coming with us because the deity really likes pretty girls. So she has to come along.
Yeah, there were no girls left in the island.
Yeah,
Because
they sacrificed all of them.
That's why they had to start filtering from Rococo. They're like, oh, we're running low here.
And you, it's Dr. Einst again.
Isn't there some tech in that room with speeding up the cutscene too, with like where Dr. Einst comes in?
Yeah, the Dr. Einst cutscene is kind of weird. So it triggers based on your movement, kind of. So you're not supposed to grab the key straight away. You're supposed to like walk around and talk to Mint or try and leave. And Dr. Einst's cutscene will trigger when you start walking down, or like sometimes when you walk to the side. But what you can do is, while you grab the key and during the fanfare, you can just press down on the D-pad, and the game thinks that you're walking down, and will start triggering the cutscene. So you just force him to walk on screen earlier, so the dialogue starts as soon as it possibly can, instead of having to wait for him to walk on screen and lose that time. It's minor, but I think it's pretty neat. All right, so Mint followed Dr. Einst into the bathroom, but can't go any further because it's the men's room.
Even though she was just standing in the urinals.
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
cool. Her logic is something.
Good. Okay. So there are invisible lasers in this area. There's a lot of invisible things in this area. But the lasers in particular will trigger some extra enemies.
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll eventually be able to get an item that lets him see them, but he can't yet. But they do, even though he can't see them, they do still follow a consistent cycle. So when he was kind of mashing in a specific rhythm to, well, pull out his magnifying glass, which is what you just how you examine stuff, and
Yeah.
then he was using that to buffer his movement around the lasers when they're down.
Yeah, and that was tech that I hadn't thought of either until I started watching the runs from the Japanese runners. They came up with a lot of really interesting things over the years, and they've been really great to work with. So shout-outs to them again.
May I?
You may.
I have a $10 donation from PJDiCesare, who says, I heard you have to donate during a PJ run, or on your next speed run, your game will crash while on PB play pace.
It's true.
So I refuse to take that chance. I have $5 from Crixil, who says, may the deserts act in your favor, PJ.
Thank you.
I have a $1 donation from Kitsumek, who says, I am inevitable.
I think I do.
Not anymore.
Gotta respect him. Please don't do this. Okay.
It's more
Okay.
buffering to dodge the laser in there.
Bioline now?
The bio lines.
Okay,
Nice,
nice.
nice.
Got through all of them. That one's really tricky because you don't have the Biolion and the gun cannon can get in the way, and you don't have much room to dodge the enemies if they start flooding in from the doorways. Like when the alarm is sounded, enemies will just start coming in from the entrances, and it's a real hassle. In some of the bigger rooms, you can like give them the walk around and make them chase you and then just slip by, but you can't in that area. All right, so we're taking a detour here to pick up some cash and to pick up a scrap 4. Mentioned before that I want to use a smoke here. The scraps were kind of themed. Scrap 4 is the punch scrap. So we grabbed one in the very, very first area when we first met Kotetsu, right after the minecart there. And we grabbed our second one here. Just gonna walk right in. So we're the catering service now. We learned from Kotetsu that you can see these invisible things if you have chameleon goggles, but we can't get into R&D. So we go and talk to the chef. I have to recycle some things. We talk to the head chef and help him deliver an order. And that gets us in here.
Yeah, recycling is just selling for money, essentially, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Axe 2.
Bye, X2. Thank you for your service. Okay, so here we're going to make 9 punch ones. This is our major and really only crafting session. It's pretty lengthy to craft a weapon because you have to level it up. So all of the weapons in the game have, I guess, a tier, like punch 1, punch 2, punch 3, and then they have levels beyond that. And every additional level gives you more attack power. Since this is going to be the only weapon that we use for the rest of the game, we want it to be as strong as possible. So we're going to level it up here, and then it's just going to carry us straight through to the end of the game. We don't bother leveling up axe or shot because it just doesn't matter. It's not cost effective.
Yeah, the punch 3 is its raw power isn't quite as good as the axe 3, but it has a much higher critical hit rate. It's 1 out of 4 instead of 1 out of 16. So,
That's right.
So it makes for a less consistent but more exciting boss fights in most cases, and hopefully faster too because of getting good luck with crits.
Yeah, it's always a trade-off because the damage if I'm farming for crits is less consistent, but with the X, the old X route, we kind of relied on back attacks for a lot of bosses, and in order to get that mobility to get back attacks, you have to sacrifice safety for a piece of equipment that allows you to move farther. So you're going to be doing more consistent damage with Axe, but you're also going to be more consistently dying from bosses. So our damage output's going to be iffy for some of the bosses, but we're going to have, in some cases, a 100% chance to dodge or a 99% chance to dodge instead of like an 80 to 85% that we would have with Axe. So we're just going to be combining these fists into one bigger fist. We just keep gluing gloves onto it. So we've got, I don't know, we've got 30, 40 seconds.
Soon it will be comically huge.
If there are any donations or anything you'd like to pitch,
Sure,
that would be
I
a
can
fine
take
time.
care of that. Let's see here. I have $30 from Tom, who says, I'm loving that RPGs now have a great speedrunning event. Thank you to all the runners and organizers for putting this on. $10 from Retrovirus, who says, I have suffered from bipolar 2 disorder for much of my life, so Nami's cause means a lot to me. Good luck, PJ, and may the board be with you.
Thank you.
$25 from Nottle, who says, my takeout arrived just in time to watch my favorite streamer play one of my favorite games. Who says Monday has to be the worst day of the week? Donation goes to PJ's Choice. Good luck with the thing.
Okay. So we have our weapon. I have to do one more adjustment. And I'm glad I just remembered that, because otherwise we would be in Boo Boo Town. RRR. So this is just attacking 3 times with the weapon that's in your right hand. That's going to be our main source of damage on all of the bosses from here on. And sometimes I get so caught up in crafting the weapon that I completely forget the plot element. But I know for a fact I made the chameleon goggles in there, so we should be good to go. This is what the alarm sounds like. But for some reason, this alarm only spawns enemies in the upper left. So I can just go. Okay, so we have chameleon goggles that lets us see the lasers. We're not going to use it to see the lasers. We're going to use it to investigate that suspicious room. So wearing the goggles tints the entire screen red. The game is aware of this because if you try and read certain books with the goggles on, they say it's hard to read because it's all red. So you have to unequip the goggles for certain things. And in a speedrun, I would just keep the goggles equipped until I need to use another weapon, which would be like, in this case, 15 more minutes. Oh, really?
Wow.
Dang.
But in this case, I'm going to unequip the goggles and leave them unequipped just to spare your eyes a little bit. This is the book.
And he doesn't
in
need
red.
the
It's hard to
goggles to
read.
actually see that door, too, which is why the goggles are a required story item.
Yeah. Yeah, and the goggles also help me see invisible enemies. So the really terrifying enemies in the volcano that I mentioned before are slightly less terrifying now because I can see where they are. This is what happens to impudent guys like you. Poof.
Flip a wall switch and turn you into a mouse.
The mouse is so cute. I love this sprite.
Did he
The mouse can
target-
read books, by the way,
Yeah, the
too.
mouse
You
is
can't
super
read books wearing red glasses, but you can as a mouse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
please tell me you're going to do that, too, just because the animation
Oh,
for
of
that
course.
is so good.
Of
yeah.
course.
But yeah, mouse can go into more places. Mouse moves faster. It's just really an upgrade. We should thank Dr. Heinz.
Yeah, the mouse is great.
Mhm. How he specifically targeted you, nobody knows, but it's cool.
Yeah, with that switch on the wall, it targets the whole room except for him. A mouse. So this is one of the plot triggers that most people miss, because you just have to keep talking to Mint, and her dialogue doesn't change. You just have to keep spooking her, and then Kotetsu will come in. So I think you have to scare her 6 times to
Yeah.
get the whole scene to play out.
Yeah, the first 3 will trigger Kotetsu, and then the next 3 will trigger her. But if you talk to her that like 2 times, leave the room, come back in, then it starts back at 1 again.
Yeah.
So it can be very confusing if you're playing this blind.
All right, Kotetsu is a shrewd bargainer. So he's going to agree to change me back into a human in exchange for their secret stash of loot, which only a mouse can get because there are guards outside. I'm not exactly sure why we can't just destroy the guards, but
You can't just kill people, PJ.
we can, and we do. We're not killing them. The robot is killing them.
Yeah.
Just me, just a
Cooperate.
mouse. Just a mouse. Okay.
Somehow I missed that there's pictures of Dr. Einz
Yeah,
on the wall
it's
in
not
this
very
base,
subtle.
too,
This
yeah.
is very famous.
Now the newcomer, Squeak. Yeah, this mouse is like, why would you want to be a human? Mice are awesome. All right, so these are the mice guards that are protecting the loot. They're really just hanging out, but they're in my way.
So there's 2 different kinds of guards, too. There's human guards and mouse guards. Yeah.
So we have to get the mice, to get them out of the way, we have to destroy this guy because he's cleaning up all the mice in the kitchen. They've got a real pest problem in this place.
Fortunately, being a mouse still lets you throw your robot capsules, too.
Yeah, you can't use items as a mouse, though, because a mouse doesn't have a backpack. So you can't use cures or repairs or smoke bombs.
This mouse, it's possessed.
What's up, mouse? All right, so we have to go talk to Engineer Mouse. I accidentally pushed the self-destruct button, and now I'm a mouse. So he accidentally triggered the self-destruct, but nothing blew up, so I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure.
I mean,
what
there's only
happens
one way to
there,
find
but-
out what it does now.
Right.
I accidentally pushed a 5-button sequence
Yeah.
by accident.
Yeah.
Oops. Could happen to anybody. You tricked? Yeah, I tricked the lunchroom
Yeah,
guy.
I sure did.
That's right.
Yes, I tricked him with my fist.
Nothing to see there. All right, so this room is super, super good. This is the money that Kotetsu needs. The fun thing here is that it's not just like, Kingbo has found a sack of cash, like a key item. This is actually 5,000 gold. So you can spend it. And the game actually has, it has something in place. It has dialogue in place in case that happens. You talk to Kotetsu, he's like, this all that was there? All right, whatever. Come with me. But I don't steal the money because I just don't have the stuff to build. Please get out of the way. So there's no need for me to use this money. One side note there is that you can't actually use the invention machine as a mouse. So if I go back to the R&D room right now, I can't spend his money. You have to level up and use the portable invention machine. And that's because the mouse is just too short. If you try and use the invention machine, it just says, I can't reach it.
Yeah, casually you could do some fun things with that money if you want to take the time.
Oh, yeah. The other thing we got is this weapon. This is Sword 4, or the Thunder Sword. Just a basic sword swing, just pressing R, attacks every enemy. It hits every row.
Yeah, you don't just attack, you make them get struck by lightning.
Yep. Yeah, it comes straight down from the top, so it's unaffected by capsules. It's a ridiculously good weapon.
Yeah, and your
That
screen,
magnifying glass is so cute.
It is.
your position, your position in combat doesn't matter with that sword either. So you don't have to get into the danger zone to use it.
Yeah, I mentioned before during the Metacrab fight that ranged weapons have attack power decay based on your proximity. Sword 4 is immune to that, so you can stand the entire screen length away, and you still get full damage from it. And Sword 4 also has DeWolf's favorite feature, where you can get back attacks by just turning around and swinging. So back attacks give you a 50% damage boost.
The worst thing is that I remember trying to get behind enemies and swinging with the sword, and that doesn't work. So you have to just stay where you're starting and just turn around, and that works. I'm just like, why?
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, because back attacks, it doesn't actually check proximity. Doesn't check. Yeah, that's a good question. Where am I going? Thank you. Just using the executive toilet. Don't mind me.
It's a long run, guys.
Oh, man. Thank you. Yeah, so the game just checks to see what direction you are facing and what direction the enemy's facing. And it assumes that if your attack hits, then you are behind him. But you can do that with bombs as well. You can just turn around and bomb will get back attack boost.
Oops, just accidentally pressed the button sequence.
I like that sequence because Kotetsu, after returning me to human form, is like, all right, don't make a mess of it. And we're like, okay, sure thing. And then we blow up the whole base immediately afterwards. So Sword 4 is like your get out of jail free card here. In case you used up all the other scraps earlier and you made garbage and then like sold it or something, the game's like, all right, here, you can have this weapon. This weapon's really good.
Yeah, that wasn't even a run command right there. That was just the basic point attack. And just
level
one-shot
1.
everything.
Level 1 too.
Yeah, level 1. Yeah, so Sword 4 is super good, and the enemies here don't have resistance to it. So the only type of resistance isn't run resistance. Enemies can have resistance to all elemental types, which would include Sword 4 because it's lightning. It would include most of the bombs. They can have resistance to specific elemental types, like just lightning. They can have resistance to entire weapon classes. Like some of the ghosts are resistant to melee attacks, but they take extra damage from projectiles. And for some reason, Blade 2 was tracked separately. Like, Blade 2 is its own unique case where enemies can be resistant to exactly that one weapon. So anyways, elemental resist is super common because they give you the Sword 4 and expect you to use it and don't want you to just like sweep through the whole game. But in this particular area, there are no enemies that are resistant to it. And then this, I have no idea what happens here.
There aren't any weaknesses in this game, are there?
There are,
There are?
but they're super bizarre. So like Big Eye is weak to hammers.
Okay.
And Papa Mecha is weak to the throwing hammer, the Celtis or Keltis, whatever it is. But those weapons are just truly horrible, so you never want to use them. Some poor enemies are weak to punch, and that's just a real shame. Bug is weak to laser. So yeah, there are weaknesses, but you just never use them because it's like always better to just use the strongest thing. Okay, so I'm going to do one more save here. My strat against Big Eye is counterintuitive, to say the least. And if I get like extremely worst luck, we could be in big trouble. I should be fine, but Better safe than sorry. Okay, so we did such a good job in town that they decided to give us their treasure. The treasure's in the shrine here. We gotta go pick it up. The real treasure is not nearly as good as these things. 1,000 gold and Hammer 2. Hammer 2 is interesting because it drains. It's the only attack that you can use that drains health. Just gonna turn around and hit these guys.
And yourself while you're at it.
Yeah, and myself. All right, so now we're gonna do this strat, which is kind of crazy. So I'm unequipping my shield. He's going first. That's it. I'm unequipping my shield so I don't have a chance to block anything. And I'm gonna use a death abuse strat on this boss. So every single turn I'm going to die, but I'm going to hit him first. And the logic behind this is kind of complicated to explain, so I'll just leave it there. Just trust me that it's faster and it works with this build path. I could build items that would make me safer here, but I would never be able to guarantee that I wouldn't die.
Prepare for the worst.
Prepare for the worst. So, just doing this, just embracing it. So, Big Eye, when you're across the screen from him, he's going to use 2 lasers, and then on his next action, he's going to zoom across the screen. So now we get a back attack.
Nice. The one-hitter quitter.
The one hit. So he didn't block any of those hits, and it was a crit, which is extremely rare. Big Eye is the only boss in the game that has a chance to block.
So no more death abuse. Oh well.
No, yeah, you didn't get to see the strat.
Yeah. You want to explain how it would have worked?
Yeah, so what would have happened there is, let's see, we're gonna bring this down to 27, and then this. Yeah, we're good. So what would have happened is that if that didn't kill him, Big Eye would turn around and kill me. And then I would revive that like when one robot dies, the second robot automatically comes in. And since I'm across the screen from him, he's guaranteed to do the 2 lasers and start that cycle over again. So on that turn, I'll revive Robot 1, he uses the 2 lasers, then I swap in, he zooms across the screen, and I get another free punch. And it just cycles back and forth like that. So yeah, him not blocking any of those 3 punches is really rare because every punch can be blocked. There's a 25% chance on each individual punch. So yeah, for him to not block any of those and for it to be a crit on top of it is very uncommon. All right, we're gonna switch these guys back. Gonna get a shield. Do this. Okay, we're good. This is Napoleon. This is the guy we saw in our dream, or maybe a flashback, whatever that scene was before. And he had Stone 3. So now we have all 3 of them. We have the complete set.
Maybe just laid in bed and read a book.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a tetron. Tetra means 4, so obviously there's 3 pieces.
That's right.
That's just math.
Yeah. Basic stuff. I'm more curious about where all these dead dinosaurs came from. Like, there are so many dinosaur skeletons down here. Poor Napoleon. I'm gonna miss him. Soon I'll just be scrap metal.
But what piece do you what number do you think it's going to be?
5. I'm gonna turn him into a shield. So when I was younger, and I got scrap A, I was like, oh man, another scrap, and it's A. It's got to be really good. I'm gonna turn him into a gun. So I like obsessively checked and tried to combine it with everything. Every time I got any item, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and combine this with scrap A, and it's gonna be super good. No, it's not. Scrap A is a plot item, so you can't combine it. It just looks identical to the other scrap. All right, so we want to reach level 15 before the next boss. We have the rest of this dungeon and then the entirety of the sewers to get this level, but the sewers enemies don't really have great experience values. So I want to fight these things, and the sewer enemies have resistance to elemental as well. So these are just quicker and pretty good value. Take care of these. Yeah, we're just going to be exiting the volcano and fighting stuff. So, Bob, if you got anything to say, you are free.
I've got some stuff to say.
If you have any relevant things to say.
Define relevant.
And we're out of time.
Well, what I would really like to do, since it's been a while since we've done it, is remind, well, as we're creeping closer to this milestone that we're approaching, I do want to remind everybody why we are here. We are here as RPG Limit Break 2019, raising money for NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They are an awesome grassroots group that we've worked with for quite a while. But I also want to make it important that if you guys don't have a whole lot of money, just thank you for watching. Get the marathon out there. Use the hashtag RPGLB 2019. Link to the stream. Just let people know that it's going on. Bring them in, and hopefully we can raise a lot of money for an awesome cause.
All right, so they spotted Dr. Einst. He escaped again. He took a strange boat out of the bay. It's kind of interesting that that guy is like so shocked that boats exist when our tour guide took a boat over with us. But it is what it is. All right, so we find change. Change turns us into a mouse. It's not just like a handful of nickels.
Yeah, so it's the best item in the game, obviously.
It is. It makes us cute, and we can run on water and make splish splash noises.
But she smells a rat, too,
Yeah.
right after you get change.
Yeah, change is super good. One of the things that I really like about this game is that the items that you get are relevant for the entire game except for the flashlight. The glasses are used in a bunch of different rooms. The mouse is used like pretty consistently through every single dungeon from here on. So it's a really cool thing. I like that feature a lot.
Even the drill makes some comebacks, too.
Yeah, the drill. The drill is a cornerstone piece. Relay we have to use a lot as well to talk to animals.
Just not crabs. They naturally
Just,
speak
yeah, not
English.
crabs. Crabs speak English. All right, we did it. We got the Tetron. Our father's somewhere. And now we're under arrest. No matter what, blood's thicker than water. Like, what?
Just stay
here and calm
stay here
down.
and calm down. So naturally what we do is like make as much noise as we possibly can once he leaves. He's like, what's going on in there? Who's making all this noise? Then we turn into a mouse and he can't see us.
Just stepped right on us.
Here. Oh, the mayor will be mad. I'll cut my pay. The police in Rococo are serious business, though. Like this dude. Hey, a mouse. Even a mouse gets the same punishment if you're bad. You're coming with me, mouse. Yeah, so there's different dialogue for like everybody in the game if you talk to them as a mouse, which is pretty neat.
A room down the police.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, so the sewers are probably a very familiar place. Again, for the people who watched the 2016 run of this game, there's essentially this game's metal slime counterpart. There are these little hermit crabs that have an entire house as their shell, and they have just ridiculous guard. They have 100 HP, they have a ton of speed, and they can block, so they're very difficult to kill. But they give you 30 experience if you manage to kill one, which is like the equivalent of a boss, essentially. You can fight up to 3 of them in a single battle. So the shells are super cool. We're not going to grind on them anymore. So this route, like the major change that I made here is cutting out the shell grind. I'm going to check experience here. 16 away is pretty good. So in the previous run, we gained like 5 levels here because that gets us to level 20, which is the level that you need to read the book that teaches you how to make Vanish. And Vanish is an item that's completely broken, and it essentially prevents all random encounters from that point on. But it takes time and it's very random to kill the shells.
Yeah, it could take like 5 minutes. Could take 20 minutes.
Yeah, right. So, in order to get through the game at this lower level, I've had to spend a lot of time optimizing my stats because every single point matters. This guy's going to be in the way.
Get a cameo at least.
Nothing to see here, Shell. Nice. They all zoomed away. Cool. Sometimes they're a little suspicious and they like back away and then guard, and they don't really want to run away yet. But we want them to. So that was nice.
Ooh,
We're
boy.
facing away. We're gonna get hurt here. We don't have a great chance to block. Yep. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm a mouse though, so I can't use items. Okay.
Even though we're stopped, we can still run away.
Yeah.
It's all
We
good.
stopped. We ran away, and then they switched. They switched turns still. They're like, all right, it's your turn. You go get him. I'm gonna fight this guy. So one thing that I am doing here, you can kind of get around resistances by substituting a different attack type. So there are a lot of enemies here that are resistant to elemental. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to go first here. Oh, the capsule's gonna block this attack anyways. Okay, that's good. So the anglers, the little fish, and the octopus are resistant to elemental. So what we're gonna do instead is use the run command on them. So then the game is gonna check against run resistance instead of elemental resistance. So you get into some of these weird situations where like, we're gonna get pincered here, aren't we?
Always. There's no good way to get this capsule. I have not found any
Aha!
good way. Well, okay. Aside from luck.
Yeah, you can linger there in that text box for as long as you want. So it's essentially just these guys are not giving me what I'm looking for. I was just keeping the dialogue box there until the fish were out of the way. You might go again. You won't go again.
Oh, a rare positive contribution to society by a capsule.
Yes. I don't want to hurt you, Shell. This fish is coming for me, though. We gotta do this. He was thinking it over.
Then the mouse now said go, and so
Yeah.
listen.
I'm glad you didn't drop anything there. Those guys drop 1 GP as their drop. And the capsule would have prevented me from running away from that angler. Alright, I think our experience is pretty good. I don't think I have to force fights.
I
with
gained a new
urchins in the way.
appreciation for those starfish enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Watching you practice yesterday too.
Yeah, that was a pretty convincing defeat. So the Luck Stars, the Luck Stars have an attack that drops extra capsules. So I got into an unintended battle against the Luck Star in the practice run yesterday, and his first action was to make a capsule, and then he used a full screen attack and blew it up and killed me. He's like, here you go, you can have this. Never mind. You can't. Let's see. So earlier in the sewer, I took a brief detour to collect. I'm gonna fight this guy. I think they're gonna close in on me. To collect a scrap 5. So back in the old house, I picked up the scrap 3, which is used to create boots. 82 and 147. That's a strange damage spread.
Yeah.
Not really sure why he took 147 damage.
All 3 hits would have hit that one, and then one of the hits must have missed on the top one.
They can't block and they can't dodge it though.
Oh, that is very strange.
It is.
then.
Yeah, I'm not.
Welcome to Robotrek.
Just Robotrek things.
It was 75% extra damage on that, so it wasn't a back attack or something. Well, whatever, it killed him, it's fine. So yeah, the scrap 5 is going to be used to make some boots. 4.9 is pretty okay. Please, octopus, okay.
I always just thought of them as bubblegum.
It's some bad bubble gum. All right, I don't like this formation because it comes with shells and I can't kill them, so it's just kind of a waste. But this guy is particularly hard to get past because he just walks into that 2-tile gap and then you're kind of stuck. So I could have waited a very long time for him to get out of the way, or I could just get it over with.
That's a pretty big change with the route to cut out the shell grind too. Is that because he's not going to be getting vanish until the final dungeon? There's just going to be a lot more just sections of the game where he has to kind of do all that decision making on the fly as far as avoiding the encounters.
Yeah, like this. What am I gonna do? Just reload the room. Get this fish down here. It's rough.
Oh yeah, good.
Shell, please. Thank you. Okay. So these guys are resistant to elemental, but they're not resistant to run. So gonna use that, get rid of them. That's level 15. Okay.
That's the level he needs for the next boss.
Yes, this is gonna be Scrap C's time to shine. 40.
Yeah, because Papa Mecha, the next boss, has a 50% critical hit rate.
Yeah, he has the highest critical hit chance in the entire game.
Yeah, because for most of the bosses, PJ's been just kind of having a glass cannon robot that has almost no health but has a really high dodge chance, and then just kind of hoping to dodge the boss's attacks, and then if it doesn't or it gets a crit, which does that just flat out ignore or dodging?
Yeah, crits are a guaranteed hit and they ignore resistance.
Yeah, and then he uses his other robot to revive them. But when you're up against a 50% crit rate, you just need to use a very different build so that you can actually survive hits instead of try to dodge them.
Yeah, and Papa Mecha is, in the old route, he's just completely free. He's not a big deal at all. But since I'm 3 levels lower and I don't have Axe, I have to go out of my way even more and make a minor detour to read a book and go to the R&D room and make some stuff so I can survive. So the stat build is...
I don't care if you cry. These hackers
Cold,
use such
man.
amazing taunts too
Yeah.
before they fight you.
Yeah, so Robot 2 is going to have maximum guard anyways because he's the tank robot, and we want maximum guard against Papa Mecha just because that's the only way that we can survive critical hits. And then we just want enough speed to guarantee a 100% hit rate, and everything else is going to go into power.
Yeah, and it works out to just be less inputs in the invention machine to just use Robot 2 to fight Papa Mecha.
Yeah, instead of adjusting Robot 1's guard all the way up to 99, like you take all the points from speed and you put them all into guard, and you adjust like his energy down, and I would have to heal afterwards because I'm bringing my max HP total up, and then I would fight one battle and then have to adjust everything back anyways. So this is just kind of like a pass-through for Robot number 2. I've been like slowly adjusting his stats up to this point. This is what he was born to do.
Scrapsy. Let's get it done.
So this whole thing here, we got arrested by the mayor because we had the stones that he wanted, and we realized something was probably amiss. So it turns out that the mayor that's currently in office is a fake, and the real mayor is locked up in that room. So we have to go free him. Mice are cute. What? You beat the other guard? So you don't have to fight this guard, and he'll just keep guarding after you beat the mayor. I think he just stays around. But it's faster to kill him and open up this shortcut than it is to turn into a mouse and take the back road again. Just as I expected.
Got Mayor on the left and Mustache Mayor on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I think they both have mustaches, but the right mustache is much more serious business.
Yeah, absolutely serious business. All right, so we're going to go leave. Mayor's fake. The whole town's in trouble. We're going to go to our father's house. So we're going to learn how to make shield pack. So bomb isn't terribly useful anymore. Now that we have Sword 4, we have means of winning encounters, so we don't need to use RXR anymore. So we can replace bomb with something that gives us stats that we're going to use.
Yeah, in the run commands, each of those letters, RX and L, correspond directly to the weapons. So if you don't have a weapon in your bomb slot or your back slot, you can't use any run commands with X's in them.
Yeah. Yeah, and like if you swap R for a weapon that uses more fuel, and you don't have enough fuel to actually execute the command, they don't let you do it either. All right, Boots 4, also known as the 4-wheel drive boots in the Japanese version.
Yeah, that is one kind of unfortunate thing about the English translation, is that all of the equipment is just what it is and then a number, and they've got much more flavorful names in the Japanese version. Like Punch 3 is Pun Pun Punchy.
Punch 1 is Pun Pun Punchy, and Punch 3 is like the knockout punch. Yeah, they're pretty great. So the rollerblades are awesome, and I'm really glad that they're in the route because they're some of my favorites, and it's like a cool throwback to the first route that I did of this game back in 2009, which is about as suboptimal as you can possibly get. And it had like 10 different grinding spots just because it was like, these enemies give good experience. I'm going to fight them for a while. There was like no rhyme or reason to why I needed levels. But the rollerblades let you move really quickly in battle, and it maximizes your move range. So you can always go 8 tiles. We're going to be using it in the next few boss fights. I'm going to buy a bunch of smokes because I used a bunch of smokes already, and pick up some repairs. We'll get 5 repairs here.
Yeah, if anybody's just tuning into, smokes both let him run away from encounters guaranteed and also freeze enemies in place on the field map. And then repairs just revive a destroyed robot.
Yeah. All right, let's go get this dog. Woof.
This would be Quintet's mascot, I believe, too.
Yep, that's Turbo.
Turbo the dog, who makes a little cameo in every Quintet game.
Is he in the ActRaisers? I know he's not in 2. Is he in 1 in any of the sim modes?
That's a good question.
Someone here should know.
Someone here should know.
Turbo's in all of the RPGs by Quintet, at least, though.
Okay, we're good. What a cute dog. Wait a minute, the mayor hates dogs. I don't know why they would elect a mayor that hates dogs.
Right?
I'm actually Hacker Vice Commander and Rose's biggest fan. All right, so this guy has 7/8 resistance to the run command, so we're not going to do any damage unless we crit. So this is just going to be a critical hit contest.
He's winning.
He's certainly winning. He is certainly winning. He'll die in 1 crit.
Like that.
Like
There you go.
Well played, Scrapsy. Well played.
Oh, okay.
Some good boss fights so far.
Yeah, very good.
Too good.
Speaking of too good, I have a $20 donation from the debt collector that says, I'll
Oh,
see
boy.
you on Gato
Yeah,
2.
you will. Yeah, you will. All right, so Scrapsy doesn't need to attack anymore. So we're taking all of his combat stats and putting them into energy. Gonna top him off and then take all his stuff. All right, let's see if we get a drop from this guy. He's one of 2 bosses that can drop things. Nope. It doesn't actually matter in this route because we don't need the money. We're gonna collect everything we need along the way, but it is sometimes fun. His common drop is 3,500 gold, which is a pretty big chunk of change. Okay, that is.
And then his rare drop is what, like 1,000?
His rare drop is 1,000, yeah, and then the super rare
256.
is 7,500, I think.
I have a $50 donation from this gentleman named Murphigator.
Yo, Murph.
I don't trust him.
Yeah. I don't either.
You may be wise, for he says, I for one welcome our new Rock'em Sock'em robot overlords.
Kingbo, you saved me. All right, so Rose took 2 of the stones, but the mayor hid one in a place she'll never find, which is the fully furnished fireplace.
How does
Back
she
here.
only get 2?
I don't know.
I don't think they get the Stonell.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever actually met Rose yet, though, have we?
She was hanging out in the office. We didn't talk to
Okay.
her.
I mean, if we actually go talk to the mayor near the start of the game, she gets introduced to us as the mayor's new assistant or something.
I
Lost the Stonell.
No, not the Stonell.
2-Bit Marksman sends $25 and says, hello? Is Robo? Is Kingbo? Is Robo Kingbo?
So, from like now until the end of the game, they just keep handing off who the hacker ruler is. Like every single time you go to a new dungeon, it's like, aha, it's me, Dr. Einz, the hacker ruler. It's like, no, it's me, the mayor. I'm the hacker ruler. No, I'm Rose. I'm the real hacker ruler.
$20 from Professor Nez. He says, with a name like Slapstick, run by PJ, what could possibly go wrong?
All right, here's a visit just for Puexel.
Yes, I love this text.
When a woman likes a man, it can be a scary thing. Remember that.
Wow.
I'm undecided if I'm gonna do this or not, so I'm gonna make it available in case I do. We're gonna learn how to make Little Robot because I like Little Robot. She needs help around the house, so that gives you the idea to make a Little Robot help her. And the robot's cool. It's adorable, and if you give it to her, it just like putters around the house and doesn't really do anything, but it's company. And it's a Little Robot. But I'm not gonna do that. I'll probably just make a Little Robot and hang on to him because I like him. All right, these naughty kids are teasing my crab friend. Don't mistreat the crab, but it's fun. All right, so you have to give them the surprise horn, and then they lose interest in teasing our friend, and they go on their way. You can actually get.
Makers.
What's that?
Little mischief makers
I
go
know.
back to town to scare people with a loud horn.
So this crab knows where the place to be is. So we have to go talk to this fisherman to get his boat. This guy I really like. Oh, it's you. Yeah, the talking crab told me about you. I made my living by crabbing. Wouldn't be fair to refuse a crab's request.
Be fair, yeah.
What a nice guy. Honorable man.
Maybe he could help with the house crab problem?
Yes.
Yeah, he probably could. He's probably maximum level. This
Just
is
love
the
this
longest
overworld
cutscene.
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice though. It's very chill, very relaxed.
It is great music. Yeah, if you're running this game, that's your opportunity to stretch, get out of your chair. You have like 30 seconds to do it.
Oh, too late.
Yep, that's it. No, we'll see more of the boat. All right, so at this point in the old route, we would have Vanish, and we would just be able to run past everything here. We have to use some more creative approaches without that. So skipping the shell grind saves the entire time that it takes to grind. But then you slowly lose time away throughout the course of the rest of the run because of having to fight things like this. I didn't switch order. Switch equipment,
good
didn't
attempt,
switch order.
though.
Yeah. You stay over there, bird. You know what'll happen to you. All right, now we're good to go. So this base is kind of annoying. There are only like 2 screens that have enemies, but you don't have a lot of room to navigate, and they can be jerks. This is a hacker air base, but planes are all gone, so everyone's got free time. Just making some snowmen.
He'll be back.
So this guy is, all right, if he sees you, he sounds the alarm. He's not actually an enemy. Like, you can run into him, you can poke him, you can do whatever you want to do. But if he sees you, then he sounds the alarm, and it's just like the alarm in Volcano Base. The enemies will start streaming in from the doorways. That guy can be a real jerk sometimes and just block you. Just like stand in the 1-tile bridge there and not move and just keep honking. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. So to get past this guard, we have to be a mouse. He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind a 18-inch mouse scurrying past him into the dining room. Poor Metacrab. He just can't catch a break. Just like a moth to the flame. Everyone, let's go. So we have to fight all 7 hackers now, but they're really just this guy. They just Voltron together. Those dudes are resistant to elemental, so I have to use 2 sword swings. It's unfortunate. It's kind of a pain.
Now you're the leader.
I'm the leader now. I'm the leader now.
I like how the crab walks
Yeah.
off the screen too, moving sideways.
All right, these guys are just not at all suspicious that I'm not in the hacker uniform. It's like, oh, you're a leader? All right.
You must be special if you get your own outfit.
That's right. Man, he's got goggles and everything. All right, so this is Carl's dad. Carl's the green-haired kid that we saved at the beginning, and then the kid that we pushed through the door in the sewers. So his father happens to be here working on an airship. Dear Carl, how are you? I'm sorry that I disappeared. I was kidnapped by evil people. You're the man of the house now. It's a nice letter.
Yep. Carl's like 8 or something like that too.
Does that mean you're the leader of the hackers now?
Yes. I'm the leader of anything, whatever I want.
I love the crazy flashing lights on the consoles. For,
Yeah.
for Star Trek-esque.
That's what computers do. It's one of those LED keyboards. All right, so we're the postman now. We have to go back to Rococo, deliver the letter, and then come back here. So we've got quite a bit of backtracking. That would be an excellent time if you've got anything you'd like to say, Bob.
Will do. I have a $250 donation
Wow,
from Uberstacks.
thank you.
It's
Who
more
says,
snowmen.
I've
PJ,
had lots of free time. I made some more.
PJ, your 2016 Robotrek run completely changed my views on speedrunning. Don't worry,
the
it was
better?
for the better.
All right. I have completely quit. I haven't watched a single run since.
Thank you for the always highly entertaining runs and what you all do for the charities like this and the events that support them.
Thank you.
And $5 from OmniFlare189, who says, I'm donating during PJ's Robotrek run, and I just wanted to say good luck. Also, I fully support Nami as I suffer from various mental health issues, and I'm having some troubles finding and keeping a job, but I'm working on getting to the point I can hold a job with appropriate support and resources. Finally, a PJ run is not complete without Board's wisdom, so here is a quote from Board. A creative man is motivated by, you must construct additional pylons. I have $50 from Firebird Plays, who says, Eternal Janitors represent. Also, PJ, do the thing.
I will do the thing.
This kid's so ungrateful. Just finds
Yeah.
out his dad was kidnapped. He's like, kidnapped or not, he just left.
I don't have any paper, so I just etched into this lithograph.
$50 from Gato, who says, it is easy to erase you with my own hand. This is a sign to Rask, maker of the Tetron.
Ominous.
I'm fairly sure that was a spoiler of some form, but
No.
Nah.
I love when you get here, the ship comes in, and just about faces.
Yeah.
$10 from Aluminium Batman, who says, what a nice event. It's big. It's full of people. It's really interesting.
Excuse me, I believe it's big full of people and interesting.
There is definitely a comma.
I'll prove to you in a few hours there isn't.
I could show you my laptop right now.
I can show you this game in a few hours.
And one last one for right now. I have $10 from Calas174, who donated $10 and said,
Hey,
I
a
saw
fourth
Lay
one.
and Hotbot donating, so I decided to donate as well. Enjoying my week off watching RPG LB. Good luck to the runners. Well, enjoy your vacation.
I like that hacker outside.
Not
This guy left
Not this
one.
guy, no.
Yeah.
No, the one outside that just keeps making more snowmen.
Is there a moment where you can go back where there's only 2, or?
They're all gone here. We take them all down because we're
Yeah.
terrible. He worked really hard on him too.
Oh, he did. You can tell he took a break. He built the first
Well,
one when you get
I mean,
here.
it's hitting him where it hurts after he kicked over the sandcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an awfully nice snowman you got there, Mr. Hacker.
Yeah, and the time it takes for you to go in and come out, he's got 2 more. But then you take the whole boat all the way and then come back, and there's only 1 more. He must have taken a break.
Yeah, his heart's not in it. So the litho that Carl wrote his letter on is actually the ancient blueprints to Rask's spaceship from the past. And we use that to build not a spaceship, but this thing.
Also not a blimp.
Yeah, also not a blimp.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of blimps in my life, and I think this looks like one.
Yeah. It's such a blimp. Like, it doesn't even need like a bag of gas above it or anything.
Maybe it's invisible. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Could use the goggles and find out.
Nope, too late, flew away.
It's gone. It's not really a blimp because it's a blimb. All right. So we're still the leader. You're in the leaders class. Yep.
I mean, there's so many hacker leaders. They have like college classes for how to become one. Yeah.
Father, I'm footloose and fancy free. All right. Thanks, Dad.
Anyways, this is Blackmore. He looks perfectly normal in every way.
This is also where our first required mention of the name of the planet we're on to, which is Quintenix, since this was a game made by Quintet and published by Enix.
Also, shoutouts to Rose being all oblivious. Just took the Tetron from you, but doesn't recognize you in the room.
So this area is definitely the spot where I miss Vanish the most, because these enemies are they're pretty tough to get around. That one wasn't. That was my fault for sure. But the other guys in these 3 tile gaps, they can just run straight down the middle, and you have no way to get around them.
And you're so vicious with the mini comms too. They explode twice basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I always think that they survive somehow into a disaster, and then nope.
Yeah, the mini-coms, so their 2 attacks are self-destruct, and then to sing a note that's so flat it damages you. And like the sprite, it's I didn't realize what was happening until like I actually started ripping the sprites. And like he tries his hardest to sing, like closes his eyes and really goes for it, and then just like this really nasty looking music note sprite just like falls to the ground. Definitely did not appreciate that before. An unusual mouse. His goofy face reminds me of that boy. What boy? That's an unforgivable line.
The boy that was just in the room earlier, didn't you see him?
We're gonna read too. Our mouse likes to
Yes.
read books. I love this sprite a
yeah,
lot
that
too.
was so good.
So Shield 3 is just a better shield. It gives you better evasion and better guard than Shield 2. Shield 3 gives you immunity to confusion, which is pretty great. It would very much help in a fight later on, but we're not going to use it because it doesn't give us enough evasion for that fight. But confusion immunity is cool. We're only going to be using it for 1 boss fight, so it's something that I don't always pick up. I don't know what this guy is going to do to me.
Come on.
So
Oh, that was weird. I was not.
yeah,
I thought he was just
I was
gonna
like, okay,
repeat
got his
that.
pattern, and then he goes up. They're tough. They're really hard to get a read on because they just do stuff like that. Okay, we're gonna get this money so I can actually buy Shield 3. Oh no. Nope.
They wanted
But
to
yeah,
give you
if it
the
hasn't
business.
been stated too, just shoutouts to the item acquisition sound effect in this game too, which is like a cuckoo clock.
Oh, he found the gap. Okay. Well, he deserved this. So this section is it's a little bit strange. So we do want experience, but we don't really want experience now because we don't want to reach level 18 after the next boss. We want to reach it after we get a certain item sometime after the next boss. Want these guys to come over here. This guy's not gonna. Oh, he got
nice,
blocked!
nice.
Nice.
In your face.
Get some.
We've got a mole on the inside of the hackers.
Yeah. Yeah, pumpies are super awkward to get around too, because they have poor vision. So sometimes they'll chase you and then just like make a 90 degree turn. Dr. G.
Want to be my subject?
Why, yes, I would like to be your subject.
Excuse me.
Yeah, the mice are all in the other hacker base. That can't be.
Yeah. I'm so happy. A test. I'm so glad. It's easier than washing your pants.
Wait, what?
Nothing. Yeah, these guys have some pretty good dialogue.
Yeah, there's a really good one coming up too.
Assistant A, look, the mouse came back. It's a was success. All right, mouse, read this book. That assistant is just completely unbothered by the fact that I turned from a mouse into a human and read their notes. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
He's seen a lot of stuff in his life.
All right. I already have that. I need the cyberjack.
Yeah, so our next kind of utility item in the spirit of like the change and the red glasses is the cyberjack, which lets us go inside computers.
Yeah, the cyberjack's pretty neat.
It's a VR ahead of its time.
All right, hopefully this guy doesn't spot me. Hopefully that guy doesn't spot me either. Please, please. Okay, we'll just fight him.
Sure.
Just wasting too much time. All right, so what's happening here is if we were to talk to that other assistant, he'd be like, hey, Dr. G hasn't come back yet. Wonder if he's lost. So we have to go find Dr. G.
Okay.
Pumpy!
Good Pumpy.
Cyberjack, over here. We'll probably get into a battle with Pumpy later. One of the fun things about this route is that we get to see a lot of extra enemy sprites, and there are some pretty interesting ones. We might get to see my favorite here, too, depending on what my experience totals are looking like. But Pumpy's a pretty cool enemy. He's a tire with a baseball bat. And fires lasers.
I will think about that.
So you can demand what you want. Well, you can pick what you demand from him, I guess is what I should say. Whether you want information or whether you want money. And if you pick money, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll pay you. And you get out of here, and he's like, oh, man, thanks so much. All right, assistant, give him all your money. He's like, what? No, that's all I have. I don't make a lot of money. And it's really sad. And you can't actually continue until you give the assistant's money back, and then he'll give you this key.
Poor guy.
But if he had the key, how did the assistant get the key?
'Cause.
Yeah, okay.
That's all.
Yes. I'll accept that.
Just Robotrek things.
I have a donation from Steel Frost, the Limit Breaker, who says, it's quite coincidental that there was a donation comment about someone's next speedrun being cursed if they don't donate during PJ's run, and almost immediately after, the stream cam went down. In all seriousness, it's unfortunate I'm not able to stay home and watch the stream this year, but it's been cool so far. Hellos to Poexel, Bob, and Casa if you're watching.
I can never find items in here. All right, so we got the key. We're going into the mainframe. What you could do at this point, if you're playing casually, is go see your dad, and you realize that his memory has been erased. So we're gonna go fight the guy that erased his memory. This bug. Bug.
Because it's a computer bug, get it?
Haha! Yeah, like most things, he's weak to getting punched really hard. So. So he has 800 health. A front attack crit will do like 630. But if we don't get a crit, it's not a big deal. There we are.
Okay.
That'll do.
PJ, save some luck for
Oh.
So that was a 4% chance. So my crit was a 25% chance. I feel like I earned that one. But yeah, 4%. 4%'s a shame. He will die in the next attack, is what Bug is saying. Nice. Ding. Got him. Okay, 17. 17 is good. What we don't want to see there is 18. Because just like multiple times throughout the run so far, we want to reach a level at a certain point so we can use the portable R&D. And I want to make Shield 5, which is a really tremendous upgrade in evasion and guard. I want that for the next boss fight. If we happen to get level 18 before I get the scrap that I need to make that, there is a backup. I can just make a different item instead, which also gives pretty good evasion. And we'll be caught up with the route regardless by the next area. But it's just a little bit faster to get Shield 5 here.
Can I break in for a second?
Of course.
Yes, I'd like to announce that RPG LB 2019 has just broken the $20,000 limit.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks in part to a $100 donation from Ronan Raven that says, I became a husband this year. My wife has been helping me daily with the struggle of depression, and I can't begin to describe how lucky I feel. Never give up, never give in. Donation incentive goes towards Announcer's Choice. Thank you.
It's an animation I haven't seen in a long time.
Oh, there are some weird ones.
Yeah.
There's an invisible dude here who just has like a remote control thing, and he drops a robotic foot on you. So like he's just
Python?
it basically is. He's just like sitting in the corner tinkering with this remote, and then a foot drops from the top of the screen and stomps you.
The mighty foot strikes.
And his other attack is to drop a sumo wrestler on you.
Yeah, that's a Monty Python skit.
All right, so I'm not allowed in here, but that hacker has a good heart. He wants me to be reunited with my dad, so he lets me in. We find out he's made a planet-destroying laser. We should probably deactivate it. He baits us pretty hard here. Kingbo, this way, hurry! And if you hold up here, you get into a battle with the unstoppable, this guy, and he just destroys you. Grab some money. This way, hurry. I'm gonna equip my glasses because there are dangerous people here.
Hurry with caution.
So these dudes are power loaders. They hurt a lot. They have a really cool like earthquake animation though. It's literally a 30 hertz animation. Every other frame they smash the ground. Okay, and this is the scrap that we needed, so now we are free to level up. I'm gonna just check experience real quick. We're 16 away, so we had a pretty comfortable window. We're probably gonna have to visit my favorite enemy.
Yes.
Speaking of enemies, $10 donation from Saktana. It says, Hey Poexel, what iteration of the Chrono Trigger enemies are bugs?
We'll call that level 2.
Also, this donation goes to your choice, so when you have some money waiting for you when you're done.
I'm reminded of the debuggist enemies. Such a great naming scheme.
Yep. Debuggist and Evil Weevils are my favorite enemies from that game.
Debuggist is so good.
Yes.
Alright, so these invisible dudes are here now. These are the elite commanders, even though they're the same as all the other ones. So that switch that we pulled drained the waterway. And now we can go down to the lower level. And these guys only appear when you're within a few tiles of them. But they're always in the same spot. That was actually pretty good, but I got spooked. I want to hold left here. Face man. Face man. These enemies actually being pretty kind.
So who is your favorite enemy?
Face man. Face
okay.
man's my favorite. His name's just too good.
He's just waiting for specific ones for the encounters?
Yeah, the last room. Because there are still a bunch of these rooms where I could get into a bunch of battles. And I don't want to fight Face Man earlier if I'm going to get the level anyways.
At least we got our Pumpy fight.
All right, Pumpy. Bang.
He's got a big old bat and shoots a laser.
Yeah.
He could teach those guys in FF7 a thing or two.
Pumpy is serious business. There's a pellet swap of him later called Bumpy. I like Bumpy too.
Definitely one of my favorites.
A donation from Moomba, who asks, congratulations on your world record to get a few days ago, PJ.
Thanks.
Also, if you could stack your robots on top of each other for massive stats and equip a fist on a fist, would you?
Yeah, of course. That's a shout out to World of Final Fantasy. I played through that for the first time this year. Yeah, maybe just last. I have no concept of time right now, but I played through it recently. The game's outstanding, and that has a stacking system. Nice. All right. So we've been getting some pretty high experience encounters. We might not need to fight Face Man.
That would be a shame.
It would be a shame. This guy's got the moves.
Oh, the
that
capsule.
Capsule,
drop.
yeah, the
That
capsule blocked me from. Okay, I think we only have a few screens left, so we might actually have to fight Face Man. Yeah, we're gonna have to fight him. Or I could fight these guys. These are the water balloon throwers. Or no, these are the bowling ball throwers. They like jump in the air and like throw this screwball. Face Man!
Oh, nice. Well, that'll probably do it.
What a great name.
Yeah, they've got great attack animations too, like blowing kisses.
Yeah,
at you.
blowing the kiss is great. Alright, so 11.
Because once again, reminder, the Japanese name of this game is Slapstick.
Shield 5.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend play this casually if you haven't, just to enjoy all the crazy animations.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright. So Shield 5 doesn't give immunity to anything. It just has extremely good stats. All of the shields give immunity to something, or resistance to something. Shield 1 is knockback. Shield 2 is poison. Shield 3 is confusion. Shield 4 is something I'll get into later. But Shield 5 doesn't have any special properties like that. It's just a very, very good shield. So, this is Blackmar. Just going to double check that things are in place. This fight, I don't really have mediocre fights. It's either just a total disaster or I clobber him. So we'll see what we get. He has, I think, 1,300 health. Nice capsule. Oh, I can squeeze around it. Oh, this is good, actually, because the knockback won't send me to the wall. And we got a crit. And we blocked.
What is this run? What is this run?
Let's go.
Come on.
Oh, Boo Boo almost did it. So that would have been a picture-perfect fight. Crit, block, crit. So I blocked 3 times in a row, which is something that you see against certain attacks. I'm going to block 3 times in a row here as well. I mentioned earlier that blocking is based on the global timer, so the total amount of time that the game has been powered on. And it's on a 32 frame cycle, so it'll be 24. Yeah, these guys. So 24 frames in a row, you will get hit, and then 8 frames in a row, you will block. So if there's an attack whose animation is a multiple of 32 frames, you're guaranteed to block all of them if you block the first.
It was a great fight.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's pretty decent, yeah.
And Black Tank's RAM attack is 96 frames, so you're guaranteed to block all of them if you block the first.
It's really freaking me out.
I'm going to go to this build. I'm going to make a friend. Little robot. Okay, is that it? I think that's it. He didn't drop anything either. I don't need smokes. So again, I don't have Vanish, so I have to do these really silly looking manipulations to just get enemies out of the way. We're gonna get to see the bowling ball attack. No, we're not. We're gonna get to see the foot. Yeah, we're gonna get to see the foot.
Just love the hair on the leg and everything.
I was not prepared for that.
I wasn't joking. Yeah, there are some really goofy attacks that you just never ever see. And I was going through, and when so I dumped a whole bunch of data from the game, and to make sure that I had the right attacks lined up with the right stats, I went through and just verified all of them. And I had seen some things that I had never seen before. Like, fun fact, the strongest attack in the game is a wind-up alligator. One of those. What are you giving me that look for? It makes sense.
Because of course it is,
alligators are powerful.
John, what even fires that?
So yeah, one of the invisible commanders, like those guys, one of the maskers, when he attacks, he like pulls out an alligator and winds it up, and it just like choo-choos along the screen and then blows up, and you take 100 million damage. It's stronger than anything that the final boss has, and it can critically hit.
This is both the same music and animation you get when you game over, by the
Yeah.
way, too.
Yeah, well, Blackmore says, all right, it's game over if I pull this switch, and then you get the game over theme. It's pretty neat. All right, we scare this kid.
Yeah, scarred for life.
Now he's going to go tease some crabs.
Still, it cracks me up just seeing you chasing NPCs around with a
Yeah.
magnifying glass.
Yeah, come here. I think smoke's the next thing that I need. Yeah, the NPCs can be pretty devious when they don't want to be found. All right, speaking of things that are pretty devious, here's Quickbird. So without Vanish, I'm proper level for Vanish now, but I couldn't read the Vanish book because the fortress I was in exploded. Oh dear. No, we're good. We're good. All right.
Nice.
I was worried about that mushroom.
Yeah. All right, round 2.
Yeah, we're in a weird world that looks like our home, but not quite right now.
I don't think I have ever skipped this bird in a single run. So here's hoping. Nope.
I think you got past it on your Japanese run.
Did I?
I think so. I might just be making things up, but
That was looking good. It just
Yeah.
jumped up too soon.
Yeah. I boo-booed. Yeah, what makes it tricky is that the bird can turn early sometimes and just cut you off. It looked like he gave me the good pattern, but I just didn't walk far enough. And these guys sometimes don't want to get out of the way.
It's
I
a
can't.
gator
I can't.
party.
There's no gap. It's really weird that gators are even here,
Yeah.
because they're like, we fought them in the volcano, which was a
Is
while
this
ago.
the same
feels
gator?
more appropriate.
Yeah, it's the same gator.
Huh? That was like one of those instances where you got multiple instances of commanders.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, same gator. All right, these are the big fans.
Fans.
We don't actually need to triple attack to kill them. They will die from one, I think. I don't think they're resistant to elemental, but they can block. So just to make sure that they die, I have to do the triple sword swing. All right, so there's we get sent to the past. That's what this whole sequence is. We find out later that the Tetron are able to control time, and Blackmore just like blew up the fortress that had the Tetron in it, so things kind of went haywire.
Yeah.
So we're in past Rococo now, and you can do a lot of like really
Hey, that guy
cool.
looks just like you.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
that's
looks just like me.
Never mind that he's like kind of blonde instead of a redhead.
He's got the same little cow look.
Put the goggles on him, and it's perfect.
But yeah, right after that last battle in the Japanese version only, there's an extra cutscene where it's just talking about what the word Debagame means, and it's just like, oh, this is it a buck-toothed turtle? No, it's this guy who lived 100 years ago in real life, who was a famous peeping Tom, and it's like, wow, I hope I can be famous like that one day. And I'm pretty sure the translator for this game sort of looked at that scene and was just like,
Yeah,
no, just cut this whole
I can't
scene.
do it.
Cut the whole
It's too
thing.
powerful.
What do you mean one day?
Excuse me, dog.
I mean, look that hacker. That hacker. I don't know. I don't even know who he is. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
No.
Well, then he's still got some work to do.
All right, so we're doing one short side quest here. Again, this is past Rococo, so you can do a bunch of things here that will impact the present when you go back there. Spoilers, you go back there. So there's this feuding family, and they're feuding in the present. And you find out that the source of this feud is that this guy's jewels were stolen, and he blames his neighbor, and then it just lasts for 5,000 years. They're just continuously angry at each other. So we found out where the jewels were. It turns out this mouse stole it. We're not going to save the jewels. We're just going to steal from him even more. We're just going to take his money and the scrap and then be on our way.
What is this room
It's,
on
you
the
know,
other side of the mouse hole?
it's the backup furnished fireplace. I don't know. Maybe the mouse built it with all the money that he stole. All right, so we did that. So the tool shop here isn't actually open. He doesn't have enough money. He like bought the building but can't afford to open the shop. So you can donate money here to open up the tool shop and you get a discount. You can donate money to the mayor's house to build that, and then they take like a commemorative photo, and you can take the photo as a mouse. You can take the photo while invisible. You can like take the dog into the photo with you. There's like some cool stuff, and then you go to the present and you can see yourself in the picture, which is pretty cool. You can plant flowers in town. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. But I'm not gonna do that. I did half of one side quest there, and that's enough. I think I made the feud even worse. But I am gonna do one extra thing in the past because I just really like it. It's probably my favorite like continuity thing in the game. And that'll be coming up in a bit. So we have the classic Forest of Illusion in the past, much less illusion-y in the past. This spaceship has an R button on the left side, but it doesn't have an L button.
Yeah, I've never noticed
Yeah,
that.
I'm not really sure.
And I've never even noticed the R before.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good button. Every spaceship needs an R button.
Indeed.
It's the rocket button.
Yeah. So that was our friend John Paul Belmont Prinky, also known as Count, and his butler, Igor. So we are back in that time period where those two exist. So they're trying to build the house that we were in, but this place is unlucky. For some reason, they can't build there. That's because they don't have the chameleon goggles, and they don't know that there's a spaceship parked in that clearing. They're just like, man, I don't know what it is about this place, but we just can't build here. All right, so let's equip Little Robot. And we have to make boots 5 now. This, I think, is going to be the last thing that I make. So we grabbed a scrap 9, we grabbed a scrap 3. Boots 5 are the tank boots. For some reason, the tank boots give you evasion. And not only like some evasion, they give you the most evasion out of anything in the game. And evasion is tied to hit rate, both by you and against you. So boots 5 are super good.
Yeah, you got a friend.
Yeah, well, he's gone now.
Aw.
Yeah, they just come at the cost of the worst and slowest movement in the game.
It is awful. That boy, I saw him. He went in there and there's nothing and then appeared. I want him to come and play when the house is done.
Like a mysterious boy.
Yes, this is Little Robot. He follows you around and he's cute. I like him. So I'm going to go back to the Forest of Illusion. This is something that you don't need to do, but I want to. So we're going to go find the Count's house. Should be this way and then up. Okay. So the first time you visit the old house in the present, yeah, you have a strange thing with you. Can I build a house? Sure, you can have it. And the robot just promptly walks away. So yeah, they're going to try and build a house, and it goes really slowly. But if you give them Little Robot, then Little Robot's just a machine and builds the entire thing. You can go and talk to Igor. Amazing, it works so hard without getting tired. He's a good little worker. He's doing his best. Do not disrupt him. He's building my house. It's not an approved break. So we're going to leave the Little Robot with him. But yeah, in the present, in the first time you're going through the old house, the Little Robot is actually in there. One of the basement rooms, he's hanging out. And you can talk to him and whatnot. And we're gonna see him again later. The interaction there is pretty neat. But for now, we're bringing Napoleon to Rask to verify that he's not me. A monster. And we're just going to spend a while running between this area and the spaceship. So that would be an excellent time for donations, if you got some.
Certainly. All right. I have $25 from Fuzzmosis, who says, I appear to have accidentally clicked the donate button. Well, guess I'm stuck here till now I donate. $25 from Benji PM, who said, I'm so glad to tune in during a PJ run. Good luck and trust in the power of Surprise Horn. And Sornarath1164 sends $25 and says, I had to donate during PJ's runs since all of his runs are super entertaining. Good luck, PJ, and kick Robotrek's butt. This donation goes to PJ's choice.
Thank you. The luck so far has been really excellent, which means that I'm going to get mine in the final battle.
So I'm like, if the final battle goes just so supremely, it's like, we just need to retime this and convert all the extra stuff and see what it could have been.
Yeah. Something that's strange is that you have to have the glasses equipped to walk on the spaceship the first time, but every time you visit the spaceship afterwards, you can just walk on it without them. It's pretty weird. All right, Gators, round 2. Round 2.
Fight.
Please. Thank you. Okay, now we have to go through the clown base. The clowns move in very peculiar ways. And have some very, very strange properties based on like their animation frames here. So it's tough to get them to do what you want to do. I want that guy to go up there. That's
Okay,
good.
Perfect.
And then we'll freeze him. And now we'll turn into Mouse. Mouse. So Mouse runs faster on water than Human You does. And he also isn't slowed down at all in narrow corridors like this one. So Mouse is, in addition to just being really cute, Mouse is actually very useful.
How long does that smoke last? Like 20 seconds?
A pretty long time. Yeah, I don't know if I ever really timed it out. Well, I know for a fact I never really timed it out. Okay, this guy has a chance of dropping a repair, which would be pretty cool. Alright, and we actually have to be a Mouse here for this sequence, so it's just convenient that Mouse happens to be faster. And this guy's looking around to make sure no one's watching, and then lets the Mouse in. And then doesn't follow. Cute little mouse. So, in the Air Fortress explosion, D-Rose, or well, not D-Rose, but Rose was also sent into the past with us, where she founded the hackers. Surprise. So we gotta stop her.
Drop some of your inventory.
Yeah, dropped
Wait
it
to be
way over
surprised.
there.
I guess a perk of not having vanish yet is not having to try to do this encounter skip here.
Yeah, that was awful. Okay.
I like the searchlight on top of
Yeah.
the guy at the bottom.
The guy
too.
with like the music box and searchlight. I don't know what he's doing, but so
he's enjoying it, whatever it is.
he's another one that is the same exact commander as the beginning of the game. There's only one of the searchlight commanders. Excuse me, clown. Thank you. All right, here's a good friend Napoleon again. He got captured or something. So, remember earlier when we were talking about how we don't kill anybody?
Now we've got
This-
a moment of tragedy.
This poor guy. He just wanted to walk hand in hand with a girl. And he's gone now. Rip. So this was another thing when I first played this game that I had no idea what to do. Because you have to actually physically equip a repair and then talk to Napoleon. And then you'll be able to fix him up. He is a robot after all.
It's tradition to hold something in your hand when you give it to them.
All right, so there's an interesting property with Napoleon where he kind of has the status of your player when he enters a screen. And mouse can walk quicker through these narrow passageways. So if you turn into a mouse before you enter this screen, then Napoleon also walks quickly through narrow tiles and walks faster on water and whatnot. If you enter as the human and then turn into a mouse, you like zoom through the corridor and Napoleon's just like left behind. And then when it gets to these walls that he has to break, he just runs through the wall to get in place. Napoleon can also block enemies like that. So normally that clown will just continue to move down and trigger a battle, but you can like put Napoleon inside the clown sprite and then move it, and the clown's like, oh, I bumped into something. Guess I gotta turn, and then we can run past him.
I have no idea what part of this looks like a spaceship. Maybe the wrenches.
The bones.
The bones.
It's the spaceship's rib cage.
The question is, how did your light go from one floor in the down, around, down the hole, around again, up into here?
And in a box.
Yeah. Like some clown just grabbed it and started running.
All right. I think that's the right stuff. I'm like super paranoid every time I'm heading up to a boss. Gotta wait for them to slowly spin out of the way. All right. So coming up is D-Rose, who I think is probably the hardest boss in the game when you play casually. It's certainly a very big difficulty spike. And even in speedruns, with the previous routes, she was always a huge problem. But with this route, she's pretty okay. It's super, super luck dependent, of course. But she only has a 1% chance to hit me. And then one of her attacks has a 1 in 8 chance of critting.
Yeah, and I believe D-Rose is the first boss to have run resistance, which kind of changes the strategies you can use on her a bit.
Yeah. Well, the others have, like, they technically have resistance, but it's like 50%, so you still do more damage with a triple hit than you would. But she has 87.5% resistance. So you're guaranteed to do 1 or 2 or 3 damage when you use a triple attack on her. And then you crit and do 630. So she has 2,000 health. I docked some of my points off of power and put them into charge. Just because 37 is a break point, I guess I'll just say, for the charge stat, which will guarantee that she won't be able to get double turns on me. So having a little less power means that I'm going to need a few extra turns after the crits just to finish the
You know
job.
what happens when she gets mad?
She turns into a giant face tank. Okay, so 3 is the magic number. We need 3 crits. There's 1.
Nice. Please, don't do this to me.
There's 2.
Come on.
What is this
Let's see
run?
it. Let's see it.
Please.
So my best ever fight killed her in 7 rounds.
Aw.
So 2 for 3 is still ridiculously good.
I'm rooting for you, but I was still gonna cry.
So her head smash attack is the one that can critically hit, so we don't want her to use that. That laser can trigger the only other status effect that we haven't seen up until this point, which is disable, and it disables one of your commands. So sometimes it's the run command, you can't use that turn. Or for her, it's special because it truly does disable a random action. Some of the others will like always disable the run command or always disable the item command, but with her it's random.
Yeah. And then your PJ's chance to get crits is 1 out of 4.
Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
That was what, 3 for 8, 3 for 9?
3 for 9, I think.
I
Something
wasn't
like
paying
that.
attention.
So we've done about 1,900 damage. We need to do the rest with normal attacks, and it should take 3. All right, good. So like 4 for 11 maybe. It's extraordinarily good luck.
Decent. Curious thing that never really came up yet, and I mean, wouldn't really have a reason to, but you can run from boss encounters in this game, including the very, very final form of the final boss.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really handy too, because I've in some of my previous speedrun attempts, I've entered battle with the wrong equipment.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then like I go in
exactly.
and use Thundersword, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a 6.5 hour long fight.
But at the same token, it can be the other side of the coin where I've had it where I was on the final boss and I had a great run going, and then I went to go use an item and I accidentally ran.
Oh really?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't have Thundersword equipped, so I can't.
Exploding.
But you know what? I would
bouquets.
have to reinitiate battle anyway. We're just gonna punch these clowns.
He's got a gun in his.
Yeah.
A gun and a bomb in his bouquet.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they work for the Joker.
Okay, that is close enough. So the reason I stopped at 49 charge is a really bizarre thing that we didn't know about until like very, very recently, like a few months ago. So we mentioned earlier that pressing the B button while your fuel gauge is filling up increases the rate at which it fills. That boost is disabled when you have 50 charge or more. So it's actually slower. Like your fuel gauge will fill up slower if you have good rhythm on pressing B. It'll fill up slower if you have between 50 and like 95 charge than if you just had 49 and press the B button. I should have taken the waterfall out, but I guess I just wanted to see my gator friends again. So just tying up loose ends now. Yeah, now would be a pretty okay time. If you have anything you'd like to say, Bob?
Wow. What I will do is we had a big donation come in at the end of the last run from the Yeti. So I'd like to, for newer viewers, let you know what that was all about. Because we are partnering with the Yeti to bring you 8 amazing t-shirts this year. And there will be a hoodie available this year.
Ooh.
There'll be pins, all kinds of things. Head over to theyeti.com/RPGLB. That's the Yeti, and you spell Yeti Y-E-T-E-E. Take a look at the designs, pick one up, and you'll know that $4 from every t-shirt purchased will be donated to Nami.
Yeah, they made one for this game a few years ago, which
Yeah.
I'm wearing right now too.
Oh, you are?
actually,
Bannerweight yourself, Poexel. Give us the...
Yeah, if you can't see it on the camera very well, it's a picture of the invention machine from this game.
If you don't believe us, here's the Super Nintendo controller that's on there. All right, so once again, the Tetron do Tetron things and send us back to the present. We find out Gato is not a good person. And that's that. Kingbo, get up. Get up and put on a happy face. You've come too. So our dad doesn't believe us. He's like, do you remember? I installed a switch and blew up the whole fortress while you're inside it. Everything's fine now. Okay, so we are level 20. We're gonna go get Vanish. We aren't doing a full Vanish list run. We just weren't the appropriate level before, so now it's our time. I also pick up Weather because I'm gonna finish off the little robot side quest. So I'm gonna make 2 Vanishes. Vanish is completely busted. So it's technically a consumable. Like you can equip it and it'll last for a certain amount of time, and then it'll fade.
Yeah, and
it'll
while
be
you have
gone.
it equiped, you just can't get into random encounters.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you still have to go around enemies, but you can't get into encounters with them.
Yeah, but the timer resets if you unequip Vanish. So you can just like run for a while with Vanish and then swap to something else and re-equip Vanish, and everything's fine. The game is totally okay with that.
Yeah, one thing he does need to be mindful of is that there's certain cutscenes where if he has a Vanish equipped, when he hits the cutscene trigger, it'll just expire immediately.
All right, so before I go to the cave, I'm gonna go up here to the old house. So after you do the old house thing, you can come back here and it's just ruins. You realize that you were like hallucinating or something. I'm not really sure what happens in the old house, but if you do the little robot thing in the past and you give him the robot to help build the house, and you come back here in the present and you make it rain, then you can talk to this guy. Excuse me. You could try. This stuff came up from the ground when it rained. You want this old junk? Of course I want this old junk. We get Scrap B, which is just the pieces of little robot.
Scrap C is probably looking back and
Yeah.
forth nervously right about now, too.
Yes. All of this guy's robot friends turn into piles of junk. Something's not right about this. I guess since I have weather, I may as well talk about what it does. If you use it on maps, it makes it rain, which is pretty cool. You can use it in battle. You shouldn't, but you can, and it'll have a chance of like, maybe it can snow too, but at the very least it'll be a chance of thunderstorm or rain. And the rain is a full screen attack that does basically no damage, and the thunderstorm is random thunder strikes all over the map, which will have pretty much no chance of hitting anything, and if it does, it will do basically no damage. But you can use it in battle if you really want to. There's cool animations and stuff. You can also use the glasses, the chameleon goggles. You can use those in battle, and the game will identify which capsules are safe to open, which ones won't explode when you hit them. But it won't tell you what's inside. It'll just say, hey, that one's good. But it uses a turn, so it's not really useful. Like, you would put the glasses on, and then the enemy would probably destroy the capsule, or the timer would expire, and then you'd have to go walk up to it and hit it anyways. So it's not very useful, but it's a cool idea. So here we find out that that earthquake was these aliens that smashed into our planet. They were trying to find us because we're the descendants of Rask and something bad. Something.
Mojo something.
For some reason, they just ignore my father, who is also a descendant of Rask. But
It's too old to save the world.
But not old enough to destroy it.
right,
By building
right,
a
yeah.
laser.
Give him a few more years. All right, so we get the Tetron again, and we're gonna go to outer space. Let's just equip my spaceship. Before I do this, I'm gonna go buy things that will make me able to finish the run. How about that?
That sounds like
That's
a plan.
Good call.
Real good plan.
So you're normally safe to just buy like a few of these, like 8 or 9. I'm gonna buy like 15 just to make sure.
Just in case.
Because it takes like only a few seconds to buy, 10 more repairs. But dying at the end of a 10-minute long boss fight takes us a substantially longer time than just buying more repairs. Because of Little Robot, I have a lot of extra cash. Okay, that should be plenty. 25. Should be plenty.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
There are 3 bosses left, and one of them has a 0% chance of hitting me, so...
Let's just hope RNG don't catch up.
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Darn right, you're giving me the horn back. That'll teach you, kid. Don't pick on crabs. All right, now we'll go to outer space.
Very crucial item for finishing the game.
Yeah, have to tease the children. So I like outer space a lot. Outer space has pretty good music, and if you like hang out there, you can see like Superman flying across sometimes. There's like a UFO that zooms around. There's the hidden library there, which is pretty awesome. Like one of the stars you can land on, and that has every inventor's friend in the game. So the inventor's friends are the books that you can read as you level up and get smarter. If you missed any of them, because some of them are like one time only. Some of the ones in Old Mansion are only in Old Mansion. So if you miss them, you can just go to the library and you can read any of the ones that you miss. It's a pretty handy thing.
Like the lack of space there when you handed over the stone to...
It's quality control.
You're just making sure you're reading it.
Okay, well, we can trust the Choco scientists with the Tetron because I guess we can. So we give all of those to them. We also give them Scrap A, which is what Napoleon became. And then there's this guy who's kind of familiar. Scrap 7 we don't need for anything, but I'm getting it anyways.
Because reasons.
Scrap 7? Little robot's possible. So yeah, the little robot thing I really like. It's probably not as exciting to most people as it is to me, but I think it's cool that you can donate the robot to Count Prinky to help build the mansion where you saw the robot the first time. And then he works himself to pieces, and then you can just rebuild him.
And then donate them to the old lady.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll give him to the old lady. Yeah, where are we at here? 250? Yeah, we could give it back to the old lady. Got told from the lab? He's a hard worker. Yeah, I heard about someone with the same name who tried to steal the Tetron. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. It's a common name.
Yeah, I believe all of the people on this planet are named after desserts of some kind.
Yeah.
Like Tira, I believe, is tiramisu in the Japanese version.
Yeah, and gâteau is French for cake, I believe.
Even
And
the planet itself is short for chocolate.
yeah, yeah. Rask is like kind of the outlier, but apparently in the Japanese version it's like Rusk.
I don't know what his name is in Japanese.
I don't know. Apparently it's some kind of biscuit, and I trusted whoever told me that. Hacker ruler gato. Alright, so now we have this lovely scene where they have all of the Choco scientists and the leader here, the consul, and then me, the only one who's ever seen combat, and they're trying to decide who's going to go to the fortress to fight. We're not allowed to volunteer. We have to draw straws and hope for the best. But this guy is just kind of swindling us anyways, because he's got a cup with 4 red straws in it. He's like, alright, anybody with red straws, see you later. And after this cutscene too, you can talk to the consul. And he'll be like, oh no, Kingbo, you got a red straw? Oh man, that's a shame. And then he gives you a bunch of money and like opens up this secret room where you can get some loot and stuff. Doesn't matter, it's all inconsequential stuff. But it's interesting that he's like, they're looking for people to go rescue Tira, and the only one with experience in that field is the one they didn't want to go.
They need you here to protect Choco.
Alright, so this pilot has some experience he needs to share with us. Can't use the bathroom in warp.
Good to
Like,
know.
just the way it's thrown in as just an afterthought is like, it's clearly the voice of experience. Like, we're going to warp. By the way, don't go to the bathroom.
What are they warping to anyway?
Wherever.
Does your ship have
I
warp?
no,
It doesn't seem like it needs warp.
no, it only took a few seconds to go there.
Right.
That rattling noise is like a quintet staple. I think that's in like every game. So surprise, surprise, it's Kotetsu, who just shot our spaceship out of the sky.
How many times now have we woken up in bed after getting destroyed?
All of them?
About as many times as we've just been trampled by a bunch of people running out the door that we're standing in.
He wasn't even sleeping. His eyes are open. He's never going to sleep again.
You've seen some things, man.
Her spaceship was just destroyed. I was abducted, and then it was Kotetsu. All those other scientists didn't get abducted.
I'm curious what the translation is for the ship in Japanese. They call it the metal iron. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
1,000 lives won't be enough.
Mint is also in outer space somehow.
Because Mint.
I know how to tell people.
Just hang on to the back of the ship and hold your breath.
Maybe Superman brought her here, because Superman was out there.
She could be Lois Lane.
True.
She is a reporter.
It's true. Space, Princess, Fortress. Can write a good article.
No one will believe you.
No. See, we're going on warp here, and he didn't warn me about the bathroom.
He's never found out the hard way, I guess.
It's really nice that there's a nice expressway in space.
Mm-hmm. No questions asked, just letting us in. So I think Kotetsu's allowed in because he's like a smuggler or something. Yep.
Well, he's not exactly the most honorable of characters. He's extorting 5,000 G's out of a mouse.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Call me Mint.
I guess Mint is an honorary Chocoan or person from Choco.
Oh, you might be
I'm
onto
going
something.
with
Maybe that's why she's in outer
Chocolian.
space.
She had to go.
Aw.
Her planet needed her.
Mm-hmm. These guards are the best. They're so good at their jobs. But we brought him some mufufu, so you can go by.
Yeah. Ufufu is just like a Japanese laugh that's associated with sexy times, for lack of a better word. So.
Curious.
These guys are working hard. The ruler rules! Haha!
Is it Beavis and Butthead in this room?
Oh, that one hurt.
The panic animation when they stare at him. Anyways. Alright, these guys are bumpies. We're not going to see them. Unless, like, something goes really wrong, we're not going to see bumpies. This is Face Man's bigger brother, Big Face.
Doesn't look that much bigger.
I found the intruder. So this is the cutscene that Puexel alluded to earlier. So after this, you know, Kotetsu finds you. He somehow had time to suit up, go through the mouse hole, and catch us here. So he teaches us the password, the red password, and then he walks away. But this is the only cutscene where you actually have control while they leave. And if you leave before they do, it doesn't actually give you the password. Like the trigger is not it's not saved. So you have to go and get caught again by Puexel.
Watch out. Yeah. He's going to get you.
Yeah, you have to get caught again by Kotetsu, and then he'll give you the password again. You can try again. Okay, good. So this dude, for some reason, is standing on the switch that opens up the prison, but the prison is not opened up. It's just very light. This guy, I tend to get trolled a lot by a drop. He tends to drop shot 2 pretty frequently, but he didn't that time, so that's good.
Longest walk in the game.
Talks. Yeah, she also talks. All those pauses in her speech are just entirely deliberate too, and it's awful, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, in one of the scenes, when the consul and Tira first meet you, she starts to explain something. The consul interrupts her, and he's like, please let me talk. Your explanation would take so long. All right, so he sends me down to the basement, I think.
What a fitting end.
Like, please, we jumped down a garbage chute into a volcano. We're not scared of you.
There's also invisible enemies in this room. If you notice, he was sort of hung up for a second there. That's why.
Does Vanish ignore slow terrain too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. More mice. So we just got Shield 4, which is, for the longest time, I thought it was the most useless item in the game, and I have grown to appreciate it since then. So Shield 3 has 16 guard and 16 evasion, and is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Like it's cheap. You can get it early. It's a very good shield, and it gives immunity to confusion. Shield 4 gives 20 guard and 16 speed. So the only difference is 4 guard. So when you're looking at it on paper, it's just useless. And Shield 4 is pretty expensive to craft. It's a scrap 7 and a scrap 9, which are scrap 9 is a very good scrap. You don't really want to be wasting it on that.
You can't even buy scrap 7s, can you? Aren't they like limited?
Scraps, yeah, scrap 7 you can in the mouse shop in the sewers.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't really understand why Shield 4 even existed for a while. But after a bit of a dig, I found out that Shield 4 has elemental resistance. So any elemental attack in the game is, well, they intended for it to be reduced by 50%. So if you get hit by a thunder attack or a fire attack or something, you take half damage if you have Shield 4 equipped. But what actually happens is you take 1 or 2 damage. In the code, they, instead of loading the attack power of the attack, they end up loading just like some random loop counter that they use somewhere else. So instead of loading, 190 or something for the final boss's fireball attacks, it loads 18, and then it halves that, and then it applies defense. So you're guaranteed to never take more than 2 damage if you have Shield 4 equipped and you're hit by an elemental attack. And to make things more interesting, the visual effect for elemental attacks and attacks that successfully applied Disable are identical. Like you have a red glow on your robot after you're hit. Internally, they're actually tracked the same. So if an attack successfully applies Disable, it will also be subject to the reduced damage from Shield 4. This is right. Okay. So Shield 4 is really interesting. I like that. I like that shield a lot. What we learned from Blackmore there, he got in trouble for blowing up the fortress and trying to destroy everything. And his punishment was the Eternal Janitor. He's not too happy about that. He wants to break out, but he can't run because someone installed the no run program.
Yeah.
So you just can't leave the bathroom or
No,
something?
he's the Eternal Janitor. He's always there. So our good friend Bug is in charge of this no run program, so we're going to go beat him up again. This fight is a little bit different from the first one. So he has a 0% chance to hit. He cannot do damage to me with this setup. But we also don't do damage to him unless we crit. And he can do this. This is Confusion. So it's a 25% chance on one of his attacks, so we get confused. And when you're confused, you don't get to take action. Your robot just kind of wanders around on your turn. And it lasts 2 turns. And then it can be refreshed while you're confused. So if you get really unlucky, he can just continuously refresh Confusion on you. And you'll lose like several minutes. Okay, there's one for 3.
Doesn't one of your PBs have like 18 turns of confusion or something?
Yes, it does. Yeah, I lost 4 minutes on this fight. Hey, 2 for 4? It's pretty sweet.
This run is ridiculous.
It's pretty ridiculous, yeah. 2 for 5? Yeah, my PB got confused 8 times for a total of 18 rounds of confusion. And I also took, I think I took 22 rounds to get my 4 crits in that fight. Now we're 2 for 6, I think?
Yep.
So if I wanted to, I could use Shield 3, and I wouldn't be able to be confused. But Shield 3 has 16 fewer evasion than Shield 5. So his hit rate would be like 16%. And that's not a risk that I want to take on a fight that's this long. Just hope that you don't get confused. Okay. 3 for 7.
Yeah.
I've gotten 4 crits in 8 turns on this boss twice.
And there it is.
And there it is.
3 times.
3 times. That's the magic number. It's a magic number. So that's super good luck. This level I don't need to take. I'm already at max power and max speed, and I don't want to exceed 49
Now he's talking
charge.
Japanese to Bagu Bagu.
Bagu Bagu.
That's his name in the Japanese version.
Okay, so even though we have Vanish, it still costs time to use it in some places, because you have to open up the menu to equip it, and then open up the menu to unequip it. So if we can go through a few rooms without using Vanish, it is a little bit faster. Going through these 2 rooms without it is about 1.5 seconds faster. So you go in that corner there and lure him up, and then go around this guy. Free happy dance.
Nope.
A happy dance
He's
next to
using
the
the
urinal
washroom.
is a little.
He's using the washroom.
It's a little bit suspect, but whatever. We'll take it. We'll take the key.
We have another bathroom with no sink, too.
Mhm. In that room.
Yeah, what is that?
Just an empty- that's the timeout room.
That's his bedroom since he's the Eternal Janitor.
Maybe his office. All right, this scene has some pretty choice dialogue.
Yes. Very yes.
Kimbo? It's big, full of people and interesting. See, Bob? See? No comma.
I'm looking at my screen. Speaking of, you got a
How do
second?
you not?
I
notice
was
you're-
kidnapped? I hadn't noticed.
How many times over the course of this run do you get kidnapped?
good as she's just a tank.
Yeah. Really am the fortress's ruler. Ah, so you're the hacker ruler.
Question mark got its own little.
So I am a hostage?
So I'm a hostage?
That's
awful.
awful.
Step aside.
Shoves him out the
Damn.
room.
Why can't we use her for the final boss?
Yeah.
True.
You did it again. The console's mad again. Outside was outer space. Gato is okay?
It's easy to get out. Yeah, I do like to say that Quintet's RPGs and the Super Nintendo hold up really well today as far as just being really fun games with good like music and graphics. The only thing that doesn't really hold up too well is the English translations, but for this game specifically, I think the translation being pretty wonky adds to the experience of playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's better for most of it. It's just the last 30 minutes or so, they ran out of time or something. I don't know.
Quick, bring the princess back. No, I'm busy.
Nope. Gotta deliver little robot. What's that big thing? Oh, I'm a good kid. You can have it. I can't get by without it.
Yeah.
Please, little robot, let me go. Please. Please.
He doesn't want you to go.
Little robot's such a good little helper. I like your two options. I'll loan it to you, and I can't get by without it. And not like you can have it. Just I'll loan it to you. I'm gonna come back for it.
A little robot is legit. I mean, I don't blame King Bo there.
Do you see how fast he built a house? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna come back. Rococo is just a giant apartment complex. Like a little robot. No, please.
Yeah. It's gonna go all Sorcerer's Apprentice and then become an army of little robots.
Can I give a quick update on a future donation incentive?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are barreling downhill quickly towards the end of this run, and coming up right after it is hack infection. I just want to let you know that the name kite incentive, we are going to be using the top 3 names, one for each runner. Currently that is Honk at $183.25, Husbando at $60, and Donovan at $40. But there are so many other options like Ori, Fair Eyes, Hasio, and this one's quite on the nose, I Am Bob. So get your donations in for those. And also right now, the .hack infection voice language bid war is $96 going towards English and $51 going towards Japanese.
All right. So we finally handed over Napoleon's scrap again, and the scientists analyzed it and used his memories to create a movie that shows the fortress's weaknesses and stuff. So that's
Too bad
pretty
you can't
helpful.
like see the movie in the game too. That could imagine all manner of amazing things they could do with that.
So instead of just giving me the jars there, we have to go follow him to the.
Let's call these things jars.
Well, I like this in the previous
Jars.
text, JAR was yellow, but
Oh,
then
yeah,
the S was
yes.
white.
Red jar, blue jar, and yellow jar.
Let's go save
Ketchup, mustard, and blue.
blueberry jam is
Blue
what I always
cheese?
rolled with.
The Windex, I think, Puexel
Yes.
It's a really
Oh
good,
yeah, the wind.
really good condiment. Helps the food get down. All right, so we've got the condiments. We're ready to go.
Disclaimer, don't drink Windex.
No, do not. Don't drink mustard either.
Challenge accepted.
Have you seen the room where I was arrested? Nope. All right. So we did everything we have to do. We got the jars. We delivered Little Robot. And we're gonna go take down Gateau. So this visit is actually pretty short. There are only a few rooms that really matter here. And then we have the, what am I doing? Cyberjack. That's Blue Jar.
It's
That's-
Blue Jack.
The Windex is like the Cyberjack. We just wanted to clean the computer.
Yeah. Got a lot of fingerprints and stuff on
Yeah.
that.
Don't want to enter a dirty computer. So, in one of my earlier runs, I went down through that door, and that's like a 5-minute time loss
Yeah,
because you get locked behind a blue door and you don't have the password. So you have to go through the entire fortress again and get outside and then go through the computer again. That's the only way to get back here. So don't do that. Alright, good guy Blackmore is here. It's a
I
whole
think we all
reunion.
appreciate too how the fact that Blackmore has a jack-o'-lantern head is never a subject
Yeah,
of conversation.
never mentioned once.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's Blackmore. He's got the leader's badge. Who's going to question it?
Yeah.
10 other people with the leader's
Yeah.
badge.
I see you are also a leader. So he has my favorite dialogue in the game here. My favorite line.
Me too.
In the end, I wanted to get the ruler in trouble. It's like junior high all over again.
I'm going. Going where? The wind has no destination. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Slow walk off
Just
screen.
slowly walks off screen
Yeah.
to give you some time to ponder that.
Yeah, and I did check that line. That line is exactly the same in Japanese. It's perfect.
Nice. All right, so this is the next screen is a pretty complicated one where we set up the jars. There are the invisible laser things that will put up barricades, but there is a manipulation that Liquid, the Japanese record holder, came up with.
Also,
but
these are conveyor belts that he just flipped, too. But
Yeah, because if you remember those invisible lasers that summon enemies back in the volcano base, well, they're back, and this time they're even worse because if you trip one of them, it creates these barriers in front of the computer terminals.
That guy is following me, so okay. We have to wait it out. We got about half of the manipulation, which is okay. Obviously, you want the whole thing, but I'll take it. So red jar is set up, and you have to set these up in the proper order as well. Ketchup, mustard, and Windex. I didn't hit that, did I? I did. Okay.
I mean, this is how you're intended to get past these lasers, but just because they do follow a predictable pattern that always starts at the same point when you first enter the room. If you use the right movement and or like magnifying glass buffering, you can just get past them without needing to see them.
Yeah, and all the enemies in that screen move predictably as well. They all try and track you. Without that, you wouldn't be able to do that. All right, another base destroyed.
yeah.
All in a day's work for King Bo.
Rest of the base is just fine.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
It was just that terminal.
Okay, now we can go down.
Big face.
Big face.
Little body.
I'm wondering what's going through the head of the translator when he decided on Face Man as a name.
I remembered it was something else in Japanese, which was horribly disappointing, so I immediately forgot.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he just thought it looked like Dirk Benedict.
We have the right stuff almost.
The
Guess I'll equip
right
that.
stuff.
So that thing that I bumped into, got stuck on twice there, that is the wind-up alligator thrower. So you don't want to mess with him. Okay, I'm going to let this vanish expire because my backup is still there. It saves a menu. Well, it technically saves a menu, but I'm probably not going to remember where my second vanish is, and I'm going to lose time trying to find it in my menu. But
It's the thought that counts.
yeah. If I say it saves time and no one checks me, it saves time. Okay, so this point, I was reminded yesterday by Jin, is the point of no return. Once Napoleon throws you across this gap, that's it. And if you don't have what you need to beat the game, oh well.
I hope you like to play the game again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not noisy in here too. You can save, right?
Probably.
I don't know. I've never
No,
tried.
I mean,
I have never tried either, and I'm
you
not
can-
gonna.
Yeah. There's another way to save up here too.
Yeah. Like, these robots don't seem bothered at all by the base exploding. They're still just hopping around and doing whatever. Okay, one last check.
I mean, as far as I know, there's no one here, so.
We've got everything.
Also, just like that, those enemies, they look all crazy cool, like xenomorphs, some aliens, but their names are Gregory. It's just Gregory.
All right, so this fight's super rough. So the soldiers have a 0% chance to hit me with this setup, but they have a 50% chance of disabling the run command, and that's our primary means of doing damage. Gato has a 4% chance of hitting, and then a 25% chance of critically hitting on that full screen flash attack.
So hooray for 4% that we
Hooray
just
for
saw.
4%, yeah. That's the second 4% death that we've had. But I'm not complaining because we got some super good crit luck. So ideally what we want to see in these turns is them like swapping position a whole bunch, so that they only get one action. Ooh, wow, that's a good hit. And then for a single soldier to attack me and not disable. I'm going to move here just to pull that right wall enemy forward, because Boo Boo doesn't have much move speed. Okay, I blinked red, so that means I can't use the run commands. That's what we're looking for.
It's really
here.
twisting the knife if you then get a crit, basically.
Yeah.
On the turn you can't use the run command.
Yeah, it feels bad. There's
Yeah,
one.
there we go.
It's also important to stay out of any of these corners. Those two red guys will have a good chance of just blocking you in, and they take forever to kill.
Yeah, the soldiers have 800 health and pretty good stats. So they're not real easy to kill.
Come on, back attack, crit, let's go.
I'll still take it. So the good thing with this strat, like we used to use turbo pack, so you could just always chase Gato around. There's one. I'll still take it. Still 100 damage. The good thing with this strat is that we tend to get a lot of back attacks because of the way that we're pulling enemies around. Block it. Nice.
I'm seeing that, I'm liking that.
So this guy has 2,800 health. There's another one. So yeah, you can
That
see like doing
collector's coming.
27 damage with normal hit. It's not that great. We need to use the run commands. Okay, 3 deaths.
RNG catching up.
The soldiers are on their game today.
Yeah, they are. They haven't missed that very much. Nice.
There's one.
Very nice.
Nice.
Good. Not disabled. Finish it off.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Wow. Really good fight.
Yeah, that was what, 5 for 14, I think?
It was 5. I don't know total number. All right, so our glass cannon robot's gonna get some health.
Yeah. But this kind of comes back to what we were talking about when you first crafted the Punch 3 too, that the boss fights in like the latter 2/3 or so of the run are they're a lot less consistent than with the axe route that PJ used in 2016. But if you get kind of slightly above average with critical hits, then they will be faster.
Even if we get like exactly average, it'll end up being faster. Like D-Rose, if you use axe and you get back attacks on every single turn, it takes 23 rounds, and you're pretty likely to get 3 crits within 23 rounds.
Oh, and here we go. Eh?
Well, King Bo, your father and I like you a lot. I'm sure you're important to your friends, so be careful. Go for broke.
Worst motivational speech ever.
Thanks, Mom. I'm
Of course.
sure you're important to your friends.
Yeah.
Anyways, classic quintet space.
Yes,
Final boss
this background is in every quintet game in some form.
And then Tanzer's head pops up.
I think we'll be seeing some boss refights against this background in Legion of Gaia tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow? Tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Afternoon? I don't know if that I've ever paid any amount of attention to this scene. Gato made like some machine, the time machine thing, out of the Tetron. I'm not exactly sure what this does, but it does something, and he's a bad guy, so we're gonna go punch him. I'm trying to think about what happens if you enter this as a mouse, because I know I tested this before, but I honestly don't remember. It would be nice if the dialogue was just replaced with like, mice are cute. What a goofy face. In the flow of time, humans just exist.
This is the final boss of the game, by the way, too, and time isn't when it explodes, too, although it is a fairly lengthy fight.
Yeah, we expect it to take around 7 minutes. It can take up to 15 to 20, and it can be as little as like 4.5.
Yeah, in before
So-
5 straight crits in a row.
So we get the over-under from the crowd, or?
All right, so
And you just can't get attached to a speedrun of Robotrek until this boss explodes, too.
Oh,
Nice
God.
hey, nice capsule. I didn't even see it until I got up here.
Yeah.
Just in case you needed extra experience.
Hey,
Nice
start.
start, yeah. And that ram attack that Gato, too, just used on Boo Boo is what you want to see, too, just because it's the fastest animation.
Hey.
Whoa.
All right.
Will this be the legendary 7 for
Yeah,
7?
so this is a background we want to see. He uses either the ram attack or he'll use the time warp thing, which is like the time warp and chrono trigger, except the attack comes immediately afterwards. 3 for 3.
And a ram.
Let's go.
What
So we-
even is this run?
So we want that background or we want the volcano background. Those are both free rounds. We're guaranteed to take damage, but it's only going to be 1 or 2. All of these other turns have a 30% chance to kill me, and the only attack I can block is the ram attack.
Wow.
So dying's honestly pretty likely here. You just expect it.
And
Am I going to kill him with weather?
And then it's the
Nice
the
block.
desert with biplanes background is the worst one, just because that's the highest crit rate attack he has.
Yeah, that's the only attack he has that can crit, but it's a 25% chance and can't be blocked as well. So more of these, please. 3 for 5.
Yep.
So one of my biggest complaints about this game is that the final boss theme is this.
You don't like it?
No,
Oh.
it's like a 20-second loop, and the fight is like, if you're playing optimally, the fight's like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of prefer Quintet's other games for music, but I will say that Robotrek's soundtrack does fit the flavor of the game world very well.
I love it.
Yeah, if you want a track that's gonna fit the game, you'll hear it after the run.
Yeah, because reminder that after we call time on the run too is when PJ will be doing the developer room incentive that people donated for.
Is that the first time this battle Scrapsy has taken damage? Come on, Boo
I
Boo.
think so, yeah.
That's 4 dots, I think. So this attack is something that you'll only see if he chooses to use his ram attack and you're far away. He'll use that sparkle ball thing. It does have a chance of confusion, so I shouldn't ever be back there. I should always walk back into melee range. What are we at now? 10, 11,
3 for 9 is what I am at.
9? Okay.
I'm keeping count, and it's currently 3 for 9.
3
Yeah,
for 9. All
okay.
right. All right.
Yeah, so he has 5,200?
Yeah, it's 5,200.
Yeah, so each crit is about a little over 600. Each normal hits a little over 100, so you can do the math.
Yeah, a critical hit saves about 1.5 to 2 minutes, depending on.
Wow.
Wow.
This is why he got
This-
25
yeah.
repairs, too. Because if he does manage to actually run out of repairs, then that's
It's
GG.
GG. That's the end.
Yep, because Scrap C is just purely built as a tank and doesn't really have any damage-dealing power.
Yeah, with the old route, Scrapsy would be actually unable to deal damage because it would have no weapon equipped. But I think right now it has Bomb 1. I don't think I have a backup backpack for it.
Really good start
Okay.
to this fight.
Yeah.
Though it's
Yeah.
fortunately
we're
dried
still
up
at
a bit,
about expected value, right? 3 for 12.
12, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's 1
Now
out of
we're
4
below.
for the crit rate with punch 3.
I mean, that collector had to come for us
Yeah.
sooner or later. We were too lucky.
He did say he'd see you in Gato too.
This is still a good fight so far. I think I had 5 deaths and 3 crits. 3 crits out of 14 now.
Yeah.
Still pretty good. My all-time worst fight got 3 crits out of 36 rounds. So we're not quite there yet. Block is good. Okay.
There we go.
4 for 16, I think.
4 for 16, yeah.
Free turn. Has he used the commando attack yet?
No, he
No.
hasn't. Hey,
All right,
for
all right.
17.
All right. Yeah, 5 for 17. So if we get a crit, then he dies in 3 more turns. Usually 20 rounds is the mark for 6 crits. All right.
All right.
Next
One more
hit.
hit.
Next hit should kill him then. 6 for 19. That's time.
Boom. Sub 330.
Yeah, sub 330
Wow,
GG's.
with little robot.
with little
stuff.
robot. Yeah.
GG.
That's amazing.
That's very nice. Very good round.
Because your English PB is a 322.
322 and some change. 04, 05, something like that. Yeah, the game's really cool. I love Robotrek to death. I highly recommend anybody watching to play it casually. Even after watching this, it honestly really doesn't spoil the game that much because there's so much stuff that I haven't even scratched the surface. There are a lot of really cool weapons that you can toy around with, and
A lot of other great dialogue if you just
Yeah.
go talk to NPCs
Yeah.
when you don't have to and stuff too.
some interesting side quests and talking to everybody as a mouse. So yeah, it's a really great game. If you're interested in speedrunning it, feel free to join the Quintet Discord,
Yeah.
and we'll be happy to help out. I don't recommend it. Let me clarify. I recommend joining the Quintet Discord. I don't recommend running this. Yeah, it's a pretty brutal run. Like my PB can still be improved
when we're talking
by-
about trying to like really get a really
Right,
fast time
right.
and stuff too.
Yeah, my PB will be pretty much smashed when other runners get back into it. Because I lost like 5 minutes on Bug 2, and I think I lost like 3.5 on the final fight. But it's just, it's brutal to roll for crits for 2.5 hours. But yeah, that was the run. Thank you everybody for watching. Big thanks to Couch for helping out.
Thanks.
Shout outs to Liquid and the Japanese slapstick community. Even though I think he's the only active runner right now, they put in a lot of work with improving this route a number of years ago. So I greatly appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. That being said, I'm free to move on and show the developer room. I don't know how much of the ending we want to show because it's It's a Robotrek ending.
It's long. The music's
You
kind of
can
repetitive.
do anything if you
and,
try. It's got good messages.
I thought you were unreliable.
unless there's any
Thanks.
unless there's any really good dialogue coming up, I'd say just move on to the developer room.
I can't say I've ever read this text. So, yeah, we'll go.
no?
Yeah, go for it. The ending is like 17 minutes long or something. It's excruciating. But you get to see like the hackers celebrating. They're like waving pennants, and then like you and Gato take a bow at the end. It's really weird.
The ending's actually pretty good.
All right, mouse.
You do see pretty much every area you went to throughout the game, too, in the ending.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the developer room is it's in Father's house. Before I enter there, though, I gotta
Yes.
I gotta pay respects.
Pay his respects.
Connect. Welcome to Quintet Network. ActRaiser 2, Illusion of Gaia, popular new releases.
Buy
them. I agree. Very good games. Buy them. Oh,
No
they're so good.
subtlety
I'm gonna play the ad
whatsoever.
again. Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a computer, and like all computers, we can enter them.
And here's some unique music.
Oh, it
too.
sure is. So this is it. The dev team's in here, and they each get a line. I don't have much time or memory left. If Kay knew that, he'd get mad. They just made a partition in R&D. Kid, you're buffed out. Why don't you try making games at Quintet? Find a secretary too. This is the guy right here. This game teaches boys how to grow up to be men. I like this robot. Sometimes this place. I tell you, the real me's not a robot. It's tough.
It's tough.
I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure. It's busy. There aren't enough chips. It's serious. And this dude, I like this dude because, like, if you're a developer and they give you a chance to put any line that you want in the game, and everyone gives me a bad time about my hair. Anyway, looking forward to the next game. Poor guy. This is
If only
terrible.
they
Oh, we
knew what it was.
I indulged in the PC network system. Phone bill is awful. So yeah, this is it. There's nothing you can do here except talk to people. It's a pretty cool Easter egg.
There's a
Can't
ve-
collect anything.
There's a unique sprite too, as far as I know. That
Oh, yeah.
that female sprite is not anywhere else in the game.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, completely new. Yep. So that's that. Then you can just exit. Go back home.
GG, brother, that run was amazing.
Yeah, great.
was,
good run,
that was fun.
PJ.
It worked really well. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for some more good stuff. We've got a full week left.
Let's hear it one more time for PJ and his amazing couch with Jin, Poexel, Dowolf. And the little couch gremlin that's been there for about 10 minutes in Keishora. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to a Twitch ad while we get set up for our next interview. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Welcome back from that Twitch ad, folks. My name has been Bothered Ninja Goldfish. I'm signing off here. And for the last duty of this shift of mine, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Ghoul, interviewing MooMooAkai, Royzoga, and Kyoslilmonster. Take it away, Ghoul.
Yo, what's up, RPG Limerick? I'm here with your .hack runners. We got MooMooAkai, we got Kyoslilmonster, and we got Royzoga.
Yes.
Okay, first things first, what is with the outfits?
Did it for the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's all there is to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resident
running
Evil 2 is a
RE2.
great game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Love
yeah.
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I love RE2 too.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
did you guys bring your copy
Yeah.
Yeah.
of RE2?
Yeah, they should be setting it up now.
The PlayStation 2 one?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I didn't bring mine.
That's okay.
You
You
just download it on
just run the
Steam.
PS4
we're
version.
fine.
Download it on
There's no difference, right?
Yeah, totally fine.
It's fine.
All right, so in all seriousness, .hack, three-way race coming up. So how did you guys hear about .hack? Why .hack? You know, what makes this game, a great race? Give me the whole story behind this.
Did you guys play this game growing up?
Yes.
I did not. This
Okay.
was, so I think it was GDQ, probably like GDQ earlier this year. I was talking with like Mutsky and a couple of others, and they were like, yo, we should pick this game and run it as a speed run. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then they bailed, and I was the only one left. And then thankfully, like, I saw you guys were running it still, and I was like, oh, okay, there's still a community for it. Like, excellent.
Yeah, after SGDQ, this guy asked me if he wanted to run it.
I got all the way to the final boss and noped out. This final boss is something.
It's interesting.
Skate's a good boy.
I'll give them the hands.
Catch
give them
these
them
hands.
hands. So for me, at least, I grew up watching .hack Sign. So one day browsing through GameStop, I saw Infection, and from there purchased every other one.
What were they at the time like? Because I know the games have gone up like steadily in cost. Like it's really
Yeah.
funny. You can get Infection for like 10, 20
15.
bucks,
Yeah.
and then
Somewhere
it
in
like
there.
doubles in price each game. So like Mutations like 30, and then like
Outbreaks
Yeah.
like 50,
Outbreaks
60.
like 50, and then Quarantine's like 150 at this
Yep.
point. Like it just like goes up exponentially over time.
At launch, they were like $40, $50.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that was still a fair price at the time.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the GU re-releases happened because every single GU game was 50 or more, like for years.
yeah.
So-
Redemption especially. That's the last one in that.
So why a race specifically? Like all three of you, what makes this game a great race game?
So this game is a great game to play. Like to do runs of it is fun. It's always engaging because there's a lot that you have to adapt to throughout the run. However, it's a very scary game to try and complete a run of. So for a marathon's sake, this is actually one of the safest bets. One of us will make it through at the very least.
We're certainly hoping.
But yeah, as
Is
a
that
race,
why you had the bulletproof vest on just to make sure you
yeah.
get through?
I will
Block
let it
these
be known
shots.
I'm very proud of my 16 completed runs out of 400 out of 421 attempts.
it's going to show off just how varying, wild, and crazy
Yeah.
this run can be. It's something else. And if one of us starts to fall behind for one reason, maybe the other one's better off somewhere. It's going to be something where it's always going to be interesting no matter who you're looking at.
We run pretty much exactly the same route, but you're going to get three wildly different outcomes,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and like what's going to be important for
And
each
even
of
as
us
I
to
understand
do.
it, the final dungeon is really, really, really dangerous, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
can lose up to 3 to 5 minutes almost if it goes as bad as possible.
Yeah.
You can get to that last dungeon and be like, yeah, I got everything. And then that last dungeon,
Yeah,
Just
like I've
completely
definitely
destroys
went
you.
into final dungeon 3 minutes ahead and came out +1.
yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
It's absolutely
Sometimes it
brutal.
happens.
So real quick, I got one last little thing I want to do to get everybody prepped for the race, but I want to go off and show off some of our prizes. So first of all, Moomoo, if you would be so kind to hold up our Mistral Perler. This is a $5 minimum donation.
Best mom.
Yeah, best mom
Best
ever.
mom.
We also have a Compi de Chocobo soundtrack.
Ooh, it's a fabulous soundtrack.
We're going to leave this here. Hopefully it's still visible on the desk. This is the Fire Emblem Cross Stitch. I don't want to touch it because it's
It's a general.
Fragile.
yeah, it's very difficult to make
Italian.
stand, so I'm going to get stand afterwards. And then lastly, we have the Firion and Maria Final Fantasy II Perlers right here. All right, so we're going into a race. We can put the prizes down. I know you want the soundtrack, but you got to donate for that one. All right, so we're going into a race. One of my favorite things with a race is that this is a very competitive thing. So each of you tell me why you're going to specifically win this race.
Well, I'm actually going to shoot a text over to Mackie right now. I'm going to tell him to meet me up. I need 2 defense gloves and some sharp weapons.
I'll take Nijikata.
No. He's meeting up with me. You guys are on your own.
That's fine. I'll get a Lou and Quest. It's fine.
I guess I'll make it up as I go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Adaptability.
So adaptability. All
Yeah.
right.
Random.org said I would win. Also,
okay.
also, anytime that either of them pass me, I'm knocking the controller out of their hand.
Just do the Village strat of unplugging the PS2 while they're playing.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm
I
sure
didn't
he's,
even,
I'm sure
I
he's
didn't
very
even-
mad
I
at me
didn't
right now for
think-
mentioning
I
this.
didn't even think about that. Thanks for the idea.
All right, so one last thing. I want to play a little game, get you guys all in the competitive spirit a little bit. So there's this little childhood game called Concentration. And in it, you have to name as many things of a certain category as you can without naming something someone else has already said. And you have a couple seconds to do it each. So much like Roy, I was introduced to .hack through .hack Sign, which was airing on Toonami. So on my phone, I have a list of every show that's ever aired on Toonami, and I want you to name as many of them as you can, starting with Moo. So
Cowboy Bebop,
Outlaw Star.
Trigun.
DBZ,
Tenchi Muyo.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Robots, Cyborg 009.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Big O.
3, 2, 1. Moo out. Keep going.
Kate Kider.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
Naruto.
Was it?
It was on New
It was-
Channel.
it was
yes.
on.
Ooh, was Sailor Moon on
Chat,
there?
feel free to play along.
Was
Sailor Moon was on.
IGPX.
Yep, IGPX.
Ooh. Dude, I'm so old.
3, 2, 1. Roy is
Yep,
apparently
I'm out.
going to win the race.
Good job.
That's correct.
None of you mentioned Megas
That's
XLR,
Yeah.
and that makes me very sad.
Oh,
Was that
you're
considered-
right.
it was,
that
towards the end of its run. It aired on Toonami.
Was
Okay.
Reboot on Toonami or was that before?
Was what on?
Was
I don't think it
Reboot?
ever was.
Reboot.
There's so many. Like
Yeah.
literally, like here's the list, and like especially because
Oh.
they brought it back. Like there's new stuff like from 2009. Like
Yeah.
you guys can
Oh,
even said like
wow.
Sword Art Online and stuff like
Wait,
that.
Star
Like,
Force was on there? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't remember Star Force?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I
GX
just
was
was
on.
lost.
So like everybody's like got all these nostalgia flashbacks. We're gonna jump into a nostalgia game in just a little bit. Thank you guys so much. You've been in awesome interviews.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
So-
you.
All right. Alrighty, guys. So while we're getting set up for the race, I have a bunch of donations to up on. First of all, we have a $100 donation from All Chess saying, "Hey PJ, glad to catch you running this today. Hope you have a great week, and good luck to all the future runners. Thanks for all you do." We have a $101 donation from Set Zero Miss saying, "So I totally feel bad that I totally sniped Set Zero and Couch for the Adventures of Mana names, and I think Slowpoke is a pretty cool guy. So I'd like to see us name the hero in Suikoden Slowpoke because it's an amazing game, and the hero deserves an amazing name." I do want to remind you guys, this is probably your last chance to get in the name, kite, and voice language incentives for .hack Infection, because once this is a race, and once it starts, it's going to keep going. So, as of right now, naming kite in the lead. Malamik is winning with $450. Arby's has $433, and Honk has $183.25. Just behind that, we have Husbando with $60, Kite A with $50. I like that one. Donovan with $40, Fair Eyes with $20, Ori with 12, I Am Bob with 10, and Haseo with 5. And on the voice language bidding war, currently Japanese is in the lead with $151 to English's $96. If you want to change any of those, you need to get your donations in right now, because once they're done setting up, you can't change those. So. We have a $10 donation from Kaito Ida saying, had to donate for PJ. Love watching him doing his crazy obscure games every year at any speedrunning event. Thank you for such an amazing cause. You're all amazing. Donation goes to naming one of the 3 kites Fair Eyes because the reference is too important to pass up. We have a $100 donation from One Tail saying, good luck on the run. Donation goes to Kyosa's Choice.